Welcome, everyone, to the Bulldog Pit here in Artesia, New Mexico. It's time for Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball. Live on the Eagle 100.5 here on the radio, on the internet at HobbsAmerica.com, the YouTube Hobbs Sports page. Ty friend Ron Gunner with you tonight as your Hobbs Lady Eagles have their last non-district game of the season as they're taking on the Artesia Bulldogs. Of course, big decision to come here to play at this place. Very nice arena. And, of course, they pretty much thumped on them last year when they played at Task Arena before the district started. But Hobbs had the same situation almost like they did this year, Ron, in terms of a big 10-day layoff before that game, and kind of come out slow in that contest. Again, another layoff before this game.
Yeah, and just sometimes it seems like it's either feast or famine for the schedule. You never know exactly what you're going to get until you see it on there. And then, of course, you got to prepare for these games such as this. And for Hobbs, they had two of the last three games they've lost, unfortunately, by very close margins. This game should be rather easy. However, like you said, with the layoff and the fact that this Artesia game or the team is 14-4, they should not be just a rollover right away simply because they're in a lower bracket. But, Hobbs is just going to come out here and play the game they know how to play and be able to get back on track on the winning side.
That close game you mentioned from last week, lost to Farmington. They played in Moriarty, kind of a neutral side, 46-45. Very close contest. Hobbs' shooting was very woeful in that game. Coach Carpenter says the worst he's been there since about 8 or so years. But they were 0 for 15 on three-pointers in the first half. Started off 0 for 5 in the second half, so 0 for 20 from the three-point line for a while until Brett Clay hit a buzzer beater at the end. There wasn't enough to win the ball game or tie it, but it was 3 points nonetheless. The only shot of the game from the three-point range it went in. So
right.
Problems outside. Of course, Hobbs has really improved on their outside shooting game this season compared to last. So they had some good streak shooters on the team, but it just didn't work out on the road on that game. Hobbs not the best at the free throws either, 10 of 19 in the contest, so that's not one of their better numbers of the year. The one thing they did very well in that contest is play some defense. That Farmington team averaging 60 points a ball game. They did not get any three-pointers in the game, did Farmington, and they are a three-point shooting team. So you got to give some credit to the Lady Eagles. And just like Coach Carpenter said in Mr. Farmer's story in the Hobbs News Sun, that, hey, you can't really say that this was a bad loss for us. I mean, Farmington was ranked number 1. They were,
right.
15, 16-1 at the time. So, I mean, that's just a close ball game, just like it's going to be at state. I think you want to be tested before district and to see what some of your shortfalls are and get ready for the first district game.
And it was interesting that both sides, not just Hobbs, but Farmington was also having trouble finding the bucket themselves. And one of the reasons why it was such a close game was because both sides were struggling offensively. Defense, maybe it was defense. Maybe it was just defense that was causing all those problems on the offensive side. Either way, I'm sure both sides were very frustrated about it, being number 1 and number 2 respectively, and that didn't help. But, again, it's one of those situations where you got two top teams. Sometimes they don't perform how they want to or how smoothly they want to, and still they managed to almost get the game in the victory column.
Brett Clay had a double-double against Farmington, 19 points and 12 rebounds, the only double-digit score for Hobbs in that one. Brent Hargrove had 8. Cunningham with 8 points and 10 rebounds, so she did get close to a double-double. And then some good defense by Armitage as well, 3 steals in that contest. So some decent numbers from some players, but still just couldn't get over the hump to get the win. Of course, the Eagles have lost a couple of games now with the one at the APS Metro tournament and, of course, the one in Moriarty. So I think they want to stay away from that central part of New Mexico and come back down to the southeast.
Right, for at least a little while longer, get their footing back, and then go back up there because, that's where state's going to be, and most likely it's going to be either going to be Sandia, Farmington, Volcano Vista. One of those 3 teams is probably going to challenge them during any part of that playoff run.
Well, last year they played at Tasco Arena. Hobbs winning by 30 points in that one, 67-37. But kind of an ugly start to that contest. Hobbs, again, had 10 days off prior to that game, so they're kind of rusty as they got on their home court. They gave up 5 3-pointers, 3 in the first half, and then kind of had to adjust their man-to-man defense. Just wasn't getting the job done. In fact, they extended to 9 3-pointers for Artesia in that game, even though they still lost by 30 points in the Eagles. So definitely Hobbs came back in that one. They did lead at the halftime, 31-19, outscored Artesia 21-9 in the third quarter. Coda Belton for the Artesia Lady Dogs had 7 3-pointers in that game against Hobbs on the road with 20. You don't have to worry about keeping the hand in her face the whole game, even though she did still get down those 7 3-pointers. A big game for Brent Hargrove, though, in that game as well. She had 3 tries herself for 21. On account of Mojica had 14, 2 3-pointers. Kendall Cunningham 13, and Jayla David 12 points and 5 rebounds. So 4 players in double figures. Of course, that's last year's game.
Right.
You mentioned Artesia, though, coming in at 14-4 this season. Currently ranked 5th in the Max Preps poll. I mean, they're behind teams like Kirtland, St. Pius, Gallup, Portales. I mean, those are some big-time playoff squads. So they're just right in the hunt with them at this point. Last year they went 19-9, lost in the quarterfinals to Hope Christian 62-48, and went 6-0 in district. So both their girls and the boys teams both 6-0. So lots of good success with the programs last year. Artesia girls just came off a victory over Roswell High. That was on the road the other night. Got a chance to see that one live. Won by 6. Pretty close game throughout, 55-49. Judging by the talent I saw in that game, Roswell was pretty weak. So I think that's not really a great warm-up to get ready for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. They did get the win, Artesia did, but they better be ready to put up a little bit more amp in this game on their home court.
Yeah, not a lot of teams can match up to the energy and the intensity that Hobbs seems to bring on the court. The Lady Eagles always are a fierce competition against the Artesia Bulldogs, the Lady Bulldogs. In fact, 11-1 is this series. In fact, Artesia has an 8-game losing streak against Hobbs, and that is something they have to contend with. But again, both sides are not afraid to challenge themselves, Artesia especially, on challenging themselves on districts over their 5A instead of 4. So they are definitely unafraid of seeing other players or other teams come in here and try to challenge them on their home court.
Hobbs Lady Eagles getting close to 50% from the field this season, 47%, doing a great job at 3-point shots. Take away the Farmington game, but
right.
33%. So 1 out of every 3 shots are dropping. Most coaches are happy in that mid-30 range somewhere, but
right.
So definitely something to look forward to. 66% from the free throw line, which is a little bit better than what we saw last year from the free throw stripe. Hobbs averaging 71 points a ball game and only giving up 36. So right there you're looking at almost double the amount of point production against their opponents. Hobbs only 11.6 turnovers a contest, so doing a pretty decent job of taking care of the basketball. Coach Carpenter always liked to see it single digits, but hey, 16-3 record, but that's pretty exciting stuff. In terms of point production this season, Brett Clay, of course, the leader, 13.8 points a game, leads in rebounds at 6.3 a contest, and number 1 in steals at 2.4. You love to see that, not just a one-dimensional dominant player, but helping out in all your stat categories.
Exactly, between the rebounds, the steals, the assist, everything that Hobbs does is for a reason. They always want to set each other up. They always like to be able to play no matter which 5 are out there, whether it be the bench or the starters, maybe even a little bit of both. They always look like it's the 5 that are starting no matter what part of the game it is. They always look like they're confident. They're able to shoot from any part of the field. The coaching staff has already allowed them to do that. They said, look, if you got a good shot, just make sure your feet are set and you go for it. And, of course, the back end is if you don't get those shots, make sure you get the rebounds.
Of course, Brett Clay just one of 4 double-digit scores on the average this season. A couple getting 11 a game to Kia Mojica. Again, she's number 2 in scoring. She's also got 3.2 steals, and actually I jumped her down a step there. She is number 1 in steals, the guard Mojica, and Brett Clay at number 2, so I better give due reward there to Mojica with her stellar defense, and is the best free throw shooter, by the way, at 85% for players that get a lot of free throw attempts. So definitely a real spark of the team, gets around the court fast, speedy, and gets out there and goes after the basketball. Another 11-point score contest, Bryn Hargrove. And she's got the 2 numbers, 2.4 rebounds, 2.8 steals, and 2.6 assists. So, again, one of those very balanced stat hitter for you on the Lady Eagles squad. And then the final double-digit score, Kendall Cunningham, of course, the banker inside post player, 10.3 points a game. She is 2nd in rebounds at 5.6 a contest, and another great free throw shooter at 88%. So, all these girls stepping up. Good bench play, too. We've talked about that, the games we've gotten to cover earlier this season. Especially Ileana Armitage comes off the bench for 7 points, but she's also just going after that ball all the time, just like she had the 3 steals against Farmington.
Yeah, and 71, almost 72 points a game is what Hobbs is averaging right now, and that is something that is scary to other teams. They just cannot seem to pull the trigger fast enough to be able to get that many points, and that was exactly what Carpenter talked about, was the fact that he wanted a run and gun, and he wanted to get about 75, 80 points average, and so far he's near average right now, or at least where he wants to be.
Yeah, definitely got this team all spoked up, ready to go. And again, final game of the district before district starts. I mean, you kind of wonder, is this the tune-up you want to have? But hey, you got to take games when you can get them.
Exactly, and I think that's what's going on right now. Is earlier we had a couple of great tournaments, but in the end, you got to pretty much just fill up the schedule. And Artesia is willing to do it. We usually go to Levington, but we're not doing it this year. So we go to Artesia this year. Maybe next year we'll change it up a little bit more. Who knows? But right now we've got Artesia in sights. We can't overlook them. And Hobbs has definitely got to get a good win against this Artesia Bulldogs.
Bulldogs averaging 58 points a game. We mentioned 72 for Hobbs, and only giving up 40 points. So they do play some pretty decent defense for this orange, black, and white squad. We're about 3.5 minutes away from the starting lineups here at the Bulldog Pit in Artesia. Your Hobbs Lady Eagles at 16-3. Artesia coming in at 14-4. Hobbs number 1 in the Max Preps Bowl, moved up back to that spot after losing against Farmington. I don't know how that works, but they get to that number 1 spot in Artesia at number 4 in the 4A Max Preps Bowl. We'll take a 2-minute break, come back with more of the Hobbs Lady Eagles pregame show on the Eagle 100.5, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube on the internet. Welcome back to Artesia. It's time for Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball. Last game before district. We got, guess what? National anthem. We're going to get started right as I speak. Hobbs taking on Artesia back in 90 seconds. Now we're back here for Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball after the national anthem. Getting the starting lineups here. Hobbs Lady Eagles wearing their black uniforms and the gold numbers. Artesia will be the home team, of course. White uniforms and the orange numbers with the black trim. Starting lineups, first for Artesia coming in at 14-4. Kaylee Padilla, she's a 5'6" sophomore wing. Jenna Whitmire, 5'8", sophomore as well. So they got a couple of sophomores in the starting lineup. Kimber Beltran, she is the second of only seniors on this team at 5'5". She's a wing. Hattie Harrison, a 5'11" junior post. And also Lauren Wagner. She is the tallest girl on the court in this game at 6 foot and is a post player, another senior. So a couple of sophomores, a couple of seniors in the starting lineup for the Artesia Bulldogs. Coach Hotling is their head coach. Again, they just got their win over Roswell and are 14-4 on the season. Hobbs Lady Eagles going with all their juniors in this one to start, the ones you've been hearing about all season long. Brett Clay, of course, number one scorer. Nakia Mojica, one of the point guards for the Lady Eagles, and a scrappy one at that. Bryn Hargrove, Kendall Cunningham, and Jayla David. And again, Jayla David's one of those X factors out there. Kind of a tall, lean player, likes to scrap for rebounds, get off the floor, got a good jump, a vertical leap out off the hardwood. And she has had some injuries in the past, but it looks like she's back ready to go, and definitely gives you another post force in there. Not really bulky and really to knock somebody down, but she's the kind that just kind of sleeks through people and keeps going with energy.
It's amazing, though, that the way that the girls play with the intensity, that they do not get injured a lot more. But luckily they don't. They're able to keep their core in there. Occasionally they have, of course, the injury bug, but it doesn't last for very long, luckily. So, yeah, they can keep that up, keep the intensity, keep the energy, and keep it going and continue to get better and better as they get closer to district.
How do you think the two losses affected Coach Carpenter? Do you think he just kind of playing poker face about it, or is he upset? Is he angry? Or is he kind of like maybe a motivation to bring it on this game?
I hope that they've learned more than they've not learned. Usually what people say is you learn more from a loss than you do from a victory. I'm hoping that he is both stoic and able to see what happened wrong and be able to fix that problem so that way it doesn't happen again.
Of course, we mentioned their game at Farmington, losing by 1 point last week. It's been quite a few days since that ball game, but he says it's his worst shooting night that he's seen his team have. I mean, 0 for 20 to start on the three-point line, 0 for 15 in the first half. A team that's shooting 33% from the three-point line, although that number might have been a little bit higher before that game hit, but still some girls that can stroke it from the outside. Last year you got a few people stepping up, but not really a big threat at the three-point line. But you got to remember on those three-point shots, that's getting you an extra point every time you put it through the hole. So It does matter. I mean, you want to hit a number of those if you can. Last year, again, we mentioned the girl from Artesia who graduated, hit those 7 3-pointers, Coda Belton, 23 points. She's not playing tonight, thankfully, but Hobbs has to face people like that. It depends on what team they might be a roster of, but still, Hobbs ready to play in this one, and we're going to get ready to go here. Both teams out on the court, and we'll get ready for that last non-district game of the schedule.
Yeah, the key is if you do miss that three-point shot, get the rebound. It's always great to see to get the rebound, be able to get that second chance point.
That looks like ready for the jump here. For Artesia, it's going to be Hattie Harrison at 5'11", and for the Lady Eagles, Jayla David, 5'10". So pretty close in size here. Tip will come to the sideline in front of this radio table, and Artesia will have it to get it started. That is Kimber Beltran. Gets it back up top to Padilla over to Beltran to get on the right wing. Cross court left to Whitmire. One hands it back up top of the circle to Padilla. Dumps it to the left wing again. A couple of dribbles coming to the free throw line is Whitmire. Over to the right side to Beltran. Reset on the perimeter passing game to Padilla, top of the circle. Dumps it at the free throw line. Pivot is Harrison. Drives left block. He gets tied up quickly, and a jump ball already for the Lady Eagles. Not wasting any time. Brett Clay got in there and said, give me that piece of leather.
Exactly, and already you see that defense coming on strong as Artesia tried to get around it.
That's the first turnover for Artesia. The arrow going for the Lady Eagles. Coming across the timeline. The pass coming in for the Lady Eagles. Top of the circle to Hargrove. Gives it off to Cunningham and returns it back to the left wing. To Cunningham, right in front of the free throw line, drives the right of the lane, dumps it right corner. Mexico with the fadeaway 18-foot off the side of the rim, no good. And at the free throw line with the little pivot, going back in the paint just a bit, Jenna Whitmire with her first rebound. Throws it across the timeline to Padilla and gets it back to the right wing to Beltran up the near side. Dumps it down to the right corner to Harrison. Flips it back to the time stripe, resetting to Padilla. A lot of perimeter passing game for Coach Hotling now near the scores table. Cross court right to Beltran. Dumps it to the free throw line. Taken away by Cunningham momentarily, but she lost the ball back, so turnovers one apiece on that series. But Artesia will regain it. Dribbling on the left wing, but fumbling the ball is Padilla, getting chased by Mojica. Might have been a reach foul from behind. They will call that against the Lady Eagles as they'll charge that quickly to Brett Clay. That's her first team foul. Artesia basketball left baseline underneath their hoop. No score yet here. 6:37 left first quarter. At the Bulldog pit in Artesia. Inbound high to the top of the arc. Whitmire will sell it down to the right block. A runner shot on the way for Padilla. Hits hard off the right rim. Chased down and put back up on the right block. Going to say shuffle feet first for Kimber Beltran. She got the rebound, but then took a few steps before going back up with it. Got fouled after that, but the travel first. Third turnover already for Artesia. That doesn't win ball games.
Yeah, lots of bodies around there. Could not put it on the floor, so tried to get it up and got called for the travel.
Quickly, Clay across the time stripe. Will hand it off to Mojica on the right wing. Couple of dribbles and returns to Cunningham. Drives to the right elbow. Punch it out right to Clay. Dribbles to the free throw line. Tries to thread the needle down the lane. It's kind of reflected off to Hargrove. Back to Cunningham. 15-footer side of the rim, right side. No down the right block. By Beltran. Two foul call against the Lady Eagles. Second foul here in the first quarter. And that will go against Jayla David, her second team foul, which will put Wagner on the line for the first free throws of the night.
Yeah, 2 for Hobbs so far on the foul count, 0 for Artesia so far.
First free throw for Wagner is a swish, so there's your first points of the ball game.
And they're going to go for the home team.
Hobbs' bench is still standing up, waiting for first point production for the black and gold. Second shot for Wagner, another swish. Got them both. 2 for 2 on the charity stripe. 2-0 Artesia. Kind of the way the game started last year at Task Arena, but still a 30-point win for the Lady Eagles. Driving hard to the front court for Hobbs. And pulling it out is Hargrove. Gives it back door to Clay, going hard to the rack on the right side. Lays it over the rim for 2. First bucket for Clay. We are tied at 2 apiece. And a whistle in the backcourt. Coach Hotling wants us to talk about it. Hobbs starting to put on a little trap pressure there, and he wants to make sure there's not any turnovers off of this. 5:33 left first quarter. We're tied at 2. Artesia hosting Hobbs at the Bulldog pit. Back in 30 seconds. After a quick timeout, Artesia basketball trying to beat the full trap pressure for the Lady Eagles. On the baseline after the inbound, Wagner takes a few dribbles, jump stop at the free throw line backcourt, unloads to the far left to Whitmire. Drives into the front side, left to right, in the front court with the pivot. Stepping out as Mojica gets a piece of the basketball, rolls up the near sideline, and picked up by Harrison. Pivoting against Mojica. Bounce pass top of the circle to Padilla, drives the free throw line and gets flattened face first into the hardwood, knocked down from behind by the Lady Eagles, who have already picked up 3 team fouls. This one against Mojica, her first, so 3-0 foul count now. Hobbs and Artesia tied at 2. Inbound in front of the Hobbs Lady Eagle bench on the left sideline. Cross from us, inbound to the back to the time stripe. Pulled down by Padilla, pivoting around and getting stripped by Mojica. That's the 4th Artesia turnover. Sends it to Clay on the right elbow, drives the lane, lost the ball off her knee, picked up by Cunningham on the left block, and just pushes it to the hole for the shot put score. And Cunningham with her first bucket. First lead of the game for the Lady Eagles now is 4-2. 4:50 left opening quarter. The big post player takes a few dribbles to the timeline. Bad pass on the near side, and it's taken away by Clay. And they're going to say she carried the basketball that time, so she picks up a turnover, first or second of the game for the Lady Eagles.
Either that or she stepped out of bounds. Either way, it's a turnover for Hobbs.
Mojica will be the one-man wrecking crew in the backcourt as she guards up closely to Beltran. Throws it across the time stripe to Padilla. To Beltran on the near sideline right. Mojica with the hand in the face. Back deep to the half-court stripe to Padilla. Swing it back to Beltran. Cross-court left to Wagner. Drives the top of the circle. Dumps it down to the right block to Wagner and fumbles it in the lane. Taken away by Cunningham. That's another turnover, number 5. Into the front court, over the right wing for the Lady Eagles to Hargrove. Fade in the lane, off the dribble, back of the rim, no good. Chased down the left elbow of the free throw line by Padilla. That's her first board. Stop and go dribble, double team at the timeline. Mojica and Also Hargrove, and the ball gets knocked around a little bit. Coach Hotley wanted a reach foul, not going to get it, and they're going to call that just a fumble out of bounds off the dribble Padilla in front of the Artesia bench. That'll be turnover number 6. 6-2 turnover count, but 3-0 foul count in favor of Artesia. Into the front court, stop and go for Mahika at the free throw line. One-hand bounce pass to Cunningham, right base for 15. Swishes it through off the jumper. Cunningham now with 2 buckets, 4 points. Lady Eagles' biggest lead is 4, 6-2. 3:48 left in the first. Couple of passes, Artesia trying to break the trap pressure. Stop and go dribble now in the front court for Beltran. Gets it to the timeline across to Padilla. Over to left wing, bobbling it is Whitmire. Fumbles it off her hip out of bounds, and she was pressured hard by Brett Clay on that far left sideline, and that's turnover number 7. And boy, you don't get points when the ball doesn't get even more close to the rim.
Exactly, and especially if you can't get on your front court, it helps to get to the front court.
Hargrove comes down the lane, a one-hand runner comes off the back of the iron and pulled down underneath the hoop by Hetty Harrison, her first rebound. Throws it across the timeline, right corner to Beltran. Bounce pass back to Harrison, and a give and go right in the middle of the paint. Fires the J through. That's the first bucket of the game for Artesia, although they do have 4 points. Trail Hobbs by 2. Cunningham at the other end. Baseline jumper from 15, nothing but net. 2 quick snaps of the net there for Cunningham, who now leads both teams with 6. 8-4 Hobbs, 2:55 left first quarter. Stop and go dribble far left sideline. Losing the ball momentarily, Whitmire. And it looks like she might have got a swatted at there by Brent Hargrove trying to get a piece of the basketball, although they call that on Mojica instead, already picking up her second personal. That'll be the 14th foul, 4-0 foul count now. But the Lady Eagles up by 4, 8-4.
Yeah, one more, and that'll put Artesia in the bonus.
Inbounding the left sideline is Whitmire. Throws it back deep in the backcourt. Chasing it down is Armitage, who had just came in. That's turnover number 8. Slings it down the lane and pushing it over the front of the rim is Madsen Zepeda, another sub that just checked in. Her first bucket. Pretty cool to get off the bench and already have 2 points to your name.
Oh, yeah, and Armitage is always known to do that.
6-point lead now for the Lady Eagles, 10-4. Couple of passes break the trap pressure as Kaylee Padilla now across the timeline. Unloads the ball to Whitmire left wing, dump it to the free throw stripe to Harrison. Swing out right side, 3 on the way for Beltran off the front of the rim. Underneath the hoop is Clay off the dribble now. That was her second rebound. Comes down the lane, lost the ball off her foot. Picked up by a shot there on the left block and miss off the back of the rim for Jayla David. That was her second rebound. And come down with it by Artesia by Kaylee Padilla. Comes across the timeline with the pass to the right side to Beltran. Back to the timeline with the shot to Whitmire. Takes a few dribbles to the right side perimeter. Returns it back to Beltran. Dump it in the lane. Right block to Wagner. Spins with a side out wind. Hook, no good off 3 defenders. Gets a rebound again. Looking for help. Trying to go back up. Misses again. Comes down with it. Tipped over on the left block by Harrison. And she goes up strong and is fouled. So lots of activities. Too many shots, though. Not blocking out. The Lady Eagles paying the price there. Already a second foul call on. Well, they say 14 has 2. I already had 2 for Brett Clay. I don't know if they haven't added the extra foul there, but free throws up and good. One more attempt here for Harrison. She's perfect, 1 for 1. Team is 3 for 3. So I'm not sure if they, who they called that. They said, I thought it was 14, the official called that one, but she'll stay on the court. Maybe just has the 2 fouls. Fade away on the second free throws up and good. So Harrison perfect with 4 points now, 10-6. At the other end, a long pass down the left corner. 3 shot on the way for Carolyn Seiss. No good underneath the hoop. And coming away with it is Kaylee Padilla, her 3rd board. Dribbles into the front court, double team pressure. She comes across. Unloads to the right side to Carmen Harvey and returns back to the time stripe to Padilla. Slides left with the dribble. Gives it over to Whitmire, who bobbled at the timeline. Now coming back to the right, gets bodied up a couple of times. Then they call the backcourt violation. Although the defender getting away with murder on that for the Lady Eagles. Admittedly, Madsen Zepeda was bumping her the whole time. Coach Hotling is hot right now. Thought there should have been a foul instead of the backcourt violation, stepping on that half-court line. 9 turnovers now for Artesia. Into the front court, Armitage slings it up top to Seiss. Over to the left wing, Hargrove. Dribbles up top of the circle and gives it off to Zepeda. Driving the lane. Over to left wing. Seiss comes down the paint. Reverse left, right side underneath the rim. No good. Pushed back up on the right side by Hargrove. Couldn't get it to drop. That was her first board. And taken down for Artesia underneath the net that time for the Bulldogs by Abigail Hochschild, who's been in for a few minutes. Bad pass up the court, and Cunningham momentarily gets it. Loose again on the floor. We got bodies rolling all over the place. And it's going to be Artesia basketball on the jump ball. As the ball went to the Artesia backcourt, Cunningham dove on the hardwood that time. And as she went over the top there of Carmen Harvey. It looks like a return to the game now for Artesia's Lauren Wagner. She'll check back. And coming in for Hattie Harrison. It's 10-6, your Lady Eagles leading. Cunningham with 6, a bucket apiece for Clay and Zepeda. Harrison leads Artesia with 4, and Wagner with a couple of free throws. Artesia is 4 for 4 from the charity stripe and has a 5-0 foul count in their benefit right now. No fouls against the orange and black. Ball comes in and coming across the timeline with the dribble. The bounce pass now, Brooklyn Thacker to the right wing. To Harvey, who pivots, gives it back to Thacker. Swing it left side to Whitmire. Dribbles up top of the circle. Spins, right wing, fires up a 3 off balance. Clinks the front of the rim, no good. Cunningham with the rebound, her first. Dribbles in the front court, goes back door on the baseline and gets it back. Reverse layup on the give and go left side. And that's another 2 for Cunningham. 8 points. Leading the Eagles and both teams in the first quarter with 5 seconds remaining. Hobbs by 6, matching their biggest lead. Trap pressure, dribbling towards the timeline right. It's Jenna Whitmire. Saw the clock was running out and just held on to the basketball. So at the end of one, your Hobbs Lady Eagles doubling up on Artesia 12-6. We'll come back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Lady Eagle Network. We start the second quarter here in Artesia. Your Hobbs Lady Eagles lead 12-6 over the Bulldogs. Artesia has 4 for Harrison, 2 for Wagner. For your Lady Eagles, Cunningham 8, 2 apiece for Zepeda and Clay. Hobbs basketball leading by 6 to start the second. Hippity hop on the dribble in the lane. Lost the dribble on the floor. It's rolling out to the left sideline. Last touch for Artesia by Jenna Whitmire. Just completely lost the dribble. Did Carolina Seiss on that one. Go back over, though, with the pass up top on the inbound, top of the circle to Zepeda. Over to Armitage right wing, dribbles up top, gives it Seiss to the right elbow on the jump stop. Throws it through the legs of Zepeda on the right wing, not ready for it. And it goes out of bounds on the roll. Third turnover for the Lady Eagles, but they made Artesia cough it up 9 times in the first quarter, Ron.
Definitely, Hobbs has definitely made, given some coughing fits for the Artesia Bulldogs.
Hobbs had 6 rebounds in the first quarter and 9 for Artesia. Coming across the timeline is Kaylin Padilla. Throws it back to the timeline, gets it back on the right wing, and returns to that time stripe again to Beltran. To the middle of the paint to Wagner. She spins, throws up a half hook on the right block through 2 defenders. Cunningham converged on her as well as Hargrove. They call the foul on Hargrove. That'll be her second personal, or first personal. 6 or first team foul here in the second quarter. They had 5 in the first. And they got a wet spot on the floor. Referee's going to call out one of the coaches here to get that all toweled up. Coach Carpenter going to go to his bench, bring back Jayla David. Good first quarter there for Kendall Cunningham with 8 points, Ron.
Exactly, and sometimes, that's the reason why last year when we were talking about the championship game and Kendall Cunningham was out of it, that was the reason why there was concern about her, because she is a big player. She continues to produce often, and she also, of course, makes it difficult for other teams to score under the basket.
Wagner on the free throw line for Artesia, nails the shot. She's got 3 for 3 free throw shooting going on right now. Artesia 5 for 5. Hobbs has not been fouled yet in this game. It's a 6-0 if you combine the fouls from the first quarter. Second shot good for Wagner. Definitely don't want to foul her. 4 for 4. 12-8. Hobbs still by 4. Coming across the timeline is Hargrove. Unloads to the right wing to Zepeda. Posted up Cunningham on the right elbow with the pivot. Double team. Gives it back to Zepeda, right corner for three on the fadeaway off the side of the rim. No good. Chasing down the left baseline. And taking a dribble now is Jenna Whitmire, her second board. She gets bodied up on the near sideline. They call the foul as they'll charge that to Kylie Kano. That'll be her first, second team foul. This keeps getting worse and worse and worse here with the foul totals.
Yes, and it's slowly starting to make a difference in this game.
Couple of passes across the timeline, get knocked around, loose, and picked up by Artesia across the stripe. Wagner sit over the right wing for three for David Hart off the iron. Cunningham rips it down on the near left side and gets bodied up quickly. So Cunningham has picked up a rebound here. Let's see who they call this one against. I think that's the first foul going to be called there against Kimber Beltran. So first foul of the ball game for Artesia. Hobbs and Eagles going to talk about it. Timeout on the court. 12-8 your score here in the second quarter. Hobbs over the Bulldogs in Artesia. Back in 30 on the Hobbs Lady Eagles Network. We're back here in Artesia after the Lady Eagles timeout. They lead 12-8 as Armitage comes across the timeline. Gives the ball off to Kaysen Munoz, who just checked in. Up top to David. Sails it down to Cunningham on the left baseline. They're going to say she got bodied up trying to get through two defenders that time. That's crashing on her Kaylin Padilla and looked like Jenna Whitmire. Let's see who they call this against. Looks like Hattie Harrison is going to pick up the foul. That's her first. Second team foul on the Bulldogs, both here in the second quarter. Inbound up top to Munoz. Hands it back to Hind to Armitage. Slings it over the left wing to Zepeda. Over to David, right base. Fadeaway 18-footer off the back of the iron, no good. Ripped down in the middle of the paint and falling to the floor. Going to call a jump ball as Kaylee Padilla got the first grab of it, and Cunningham ties her up. The arrow's going to go for Artesia. It was a rebound for Padilla. That's her fourth board of the game. She leads both teams on the boards. Just a little guard, too. 6:19 left, second quarter. Lady Eagles up by 4. Trap pressure, steal for the Lady Eagles. Nice pickoff in the left corner by Munoz. Puts it up top to Cunningham. Her three off the back of the rim. Trying to save it from the left baseline is Armitage, but they're going to say she stepped on the base. So heading the other direction now. Artesia's basketball coming against the trap pressure. They put it to half court, then bring it back to the far left sideline off a pass to Whitmire. Near the half mark. To Godwin on the left wing, or correction, Wagner. Cross court right to Beltran. Bounce pass up the near sideline, ripped away from the Lady Eagles. Nice steal for Munoz. And that'll be turnover number 11 for Artesia. She'll take the three at the top of the arc. Not a good choice on shots there. No rebounders even ready for it. And it kind of clinks underneath the rim on the right side and goes out of bounds. 12-8 still. Hobbs by 4. Kind of a lackluster start for both teams with 5:32 left in the half. Ball comes in the hands of Padilla. Sends it back to the far left sideline to make that Beltran. Dribbles into the front court. From right to left out the pass. Ricochets off of Padilla to the far left sideline in front of the Hobbs bench, but last touch by Zepeda. And it will be Artesia basketball. And Artesia with a lot of outside perimeter passing, just kind of going back and forth, zigzagging all over the place.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're trying to just spread out the defense, look for something that's open. Not sure, but it is not working so far for them.
The inbound comes to the left wing and knocked out by the Lady Eagles. Good swat at the ball by Carolina Seiss that time. Right on top of the leather and knocked it out towards her dad there, the assistant coach on the end of the bench. Inbounding on the left wing is Whitmire. Throws it back deep, top of the circle. Another foul on the Lady Eagles, running over her offensive player. Zepeda barreled right into Padilla. So Zepeda picks up a first foul. And now the count is 3-2. Inbound of the half court once again. Left wing now. Dribbling with the left hand is Padilla. Double team against her. Seiss gets a piece of her, and so does Madison Zepeda. And one of them, they're going to say, got a piece too much. They call the foul. And that's going to be Seiss with her first. 14 foul, one away from the double bonus. Quick inbound in the left wing to the big post player. That's Wagner. Over the right side. Ball comes right into my face here at the radio table and almost took my head off there, Ron. You didn't even warn me.
I didn't have to. You already had your hand up by the time I saw it coming your way.
That getting the camera there? It was getting looked like a 3D shot there, wasn't it?
For you, yeah, definitely. Right in your face.
So that's a turnover for Artesia. They've racked up 12 turnovers in this first half, just 3 for the Lady Eagles, but only a 4-point Hobbs lead. 4:58 left in the half. Coming across the timeline after the inbound is Zepeda. Over to Cunningham, right corner, 18-footer, swishing it again. She's hit him on both sides. And continues to drill him. She's got 10 points. 8 in the first quarter. 14-8. Hobbs matching their biggest lead at 6. Artesia in the front court. Shot from the left elbow is on the way, and they put it through the hole. Kaylee Padilla with her first bucket. 14-10. Hobbs has scored 2, 4 for Artesia in this quarter. Going the distance. Armitage reverse layup left. Air ball. Underneath the hoop to rip it down for Artesia. Lauren Wagner, her second board. Gets it to the time stripe to dribble across is Padilla. Dump it back door to Wagner. Double team. Reverse hook on the right side. Glass and scores again. Wagner now with 6 points. She has 4 free throws and a bucket. 14-12 Hobbs. 3-point shot from the left side. Air ball for Seiss. Underneath waiting for it was Wagner. Third board for her. Gives it back to the time stripe to dribble across Padilla. On the left side, backing into her defender for Hobbs, Zepeda. Up top to the arc with a pass and a 3 on the way and good for Harrison. She's got 7 now as she leads the Bulldogs in scoring. We're tied at 14. First tie since the first quarter. It actually wasn't a tie in the first quarter. At the other end, they throw it down low to Jayla David. Leans forward, throws up a shot heading towards the baseline and gets it to drop through the net. So Jayla David's first bucket. 16-14 Hobbs. Only 30 points scored here so far in the first half. Weaving through traffic for Artesia now. On the right side is Whitmire. Gives it up on the right wing and gets it back from Beltran. Back to the timeline of Padilla. Over to left elbow. Pivoting is Harrison. Dump it over left side. Whitmire for 3, in and out. Pulled down by Cunningham high off the ground that time. That's her second rebound. Sends it across to Zepeda on the left corner. Cunningham on the left elbow with the pass. Spins left. Reverse left with her left hand. Beautiful finger. Covers on the right wing. Up top to Cunningham. Wide open for a tray. Top of the arc. Off the back of the rim. No good. Chased down to the left baseline for Artesia. That was Hattie Harrison, her third board. To the timeline, backing in against her defender, Padilla. Fumbles it off her leg. Armitage sliding with her the whole time. Knocks Armitage to the floor. No call. They're going to say incidental contact. Driving to the right elbow, then kicking out to the corner for 3 off the side of the rim. No good for Beltran. Picked up by Wagner in the right block. She tries to go up with it. Is rejected by Cunningham. Puts her hand on top of the basketball and gets a jump ball. And the Arrow going to go for the Lady Eagles. And that'll be a turnover 2 for Artesia. They're 14th in the ball game. Subs coming back for Hobbs. Brett Clay back on the court, as well as Brent Hargrove. Kind of a sloppy start to this game, Ron.
It is a little bit. And, again, we can always go with is it nerves? Is it just the fact that there's rust on the court? Who knows?
We know Artesia played on Tuesday. Got a win on the road in Roswell, so there's no rust there. Pass comes in up top to Brett Clay in the front court. Dribbles and hands off to the right side to Hargrove. Up top of the circle, the spin move to the free throw line. Up again to Clay. She'll come down the pike with a runner shot hard off the back of the rim. Crash for the rebound down at the free throw line. And coming up with the basketball and giving it off to her guard is Whitmire, her third board. Pass to the timeline rejected as getting the ball knocked out of her hands. Carmen Harvey going the other way for the layup after the steal is Brent Hargrove. Her first bucket and the 15th Artesia turnover. 20-14. Quick pass into the front court for Artesia. Brooklyn Thacker bounces it back deep to Beltran on the timeline, sliding right to left, spins back to the right side, gets a screen from her teammate Thacker. Bad pass up top, Cunningham rips it away. 16th Artesia turnover. Backdoor bouncer, layup on the right side and put it through for Padilla. She's got 4 points all coming in this second quarter. 22-14, there's the biggest lead of the ball game. No dial tone. Oh, crack.
Timeout Bulldogs.
This stay there Evie, take the timeout because we just went timeout here. Sorry. How long are we off for?
Yes. Yeah.
Little technical delay there. Sorry about that, although they did go to a timeout as well. 24-14. Hobbs with their biggest lead of the game at 10 after a steal and a layup converted. Looks like we got 3 players checking in for the Lady Eagles. Coach Carpenter wants to get some more time out there for Armitage, Seiss, and Zapata. Guess I better be careful when we go off the air. They said I was on the whole time. Glad there were not some choice words coming out of my mouth, even though it might have sounded like it. Artesia basketball in the backcourt. My wife just told me that. In the front court, down to the right corner for the Bulldogs. It's stripped away and taken on the run. Art going to the hoop. Zapata puts on the break to the left block. Puts up a shot, no good. And underneath the hoop by Kimber Beltran. That will end the half, though, on that rebound for Artesia. And with that turnover for Artesia prior to that, that was their 20th turnover just in the first half alone.
Ooh.
Your Hobbs Lady Eagles have taken that to the bank and now lead with their biggest lead of the contest by 10 over the Bulldogs, 24-14 here in Artesia. We'll take a 3-minute break, come back with the Hobbs Lady Eagles halftime show live on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube on the internet and on the radio at the Eagle 100.5. Welcome back to Artesia, the Bulldog Pit, as your Hobbs Lady Eagles leading with their biggest lead of the game by 10, 24-14, and Hobbs getting 12 points in that second quarter. Only 8 for Artesia. It was 12-6 at the end of one, and really not a big expansion until the turnovers started to mount for Artesia. They finished with 20 turnovers in the first half due to some stellar Hobbs Lady Eagle defense. And I know really big play there defensively on steals, too. 7 steals for Cunningham. Right now with her 12 points, she is 3 steals away from having a double-double. And we're not even through the first half. We are through the first half, but she's got 2 more quarters.
Exactly, yeah. You're talking about the fact that, usually you do that in a whole game, and she's only done it in the first half so far, and that is amazing. Of course, also 12 of the 14 points from Artesia are also coming from, that's ours, so never mind. That's 12 out of 24. So she's got half her points right there just for Hobbs, and that is also amazing as well. Hobbs, of course, wants to have other players step up and be able to get some other shots as well and make sure that this is a balanced offense and defense and get back on the winning side as far as being able to get teamwork in together.
So far, only 14 on the scoreboard for Artesia. 2 players with 6 apiece. Hallie Harrison, she hit a tray, had 1-for-1 free throw shooting as well. And Lauren Wagner, the big post player, went 4 for 4 from the line in the first quarter, had another bucket, and had 6 as well. So both those players with 6 apiece, Harrison and Wagner, and a bucket for Kaylee Padilla for 2. So 3 scores in the first half. They're actually out-rebounding Hobbs 16-8 with a lot more missed shots for Artesia, a lot more transition layups for Hobbs, getting a lot of steals in that first half of action. Hobbs Lady Eagles, again, getting close to a double-double. Kendall Cunningham, 12 points, 7 steals. And 3 rebounds as well, so she definitely is dominating. Had 8 of her 12 just in the first quarter alone. Brett Clay hit a couple of buckets for 4. Same thing for Brent Hargrove. And Jayla David coming in with 2 points, and so did Madsen Zepeda. Top rebounder Cunningham with 3. Brett Clay hit 2 off the boards as well. Hobbs Lady Eagles with only 4 turnovers in the first half compared to those 20 for Artesia. Definitely the difference in the ball game. In fact, Ron, Hobbs did not get to shoot any free throws in the first half. Artesia was perfect 5 for 5.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you just don't draw any fouls. Normally, Hobbs gets a lot of fouls, but Artesia, for whatever reason, may be playing just right. Hobbs is unable to draw any fouls.
5.7, but the internet feed, if you're watching video live, we are going to be keeping on the same feed for that, HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube on the Hobbs Sports page. So you get 2 for the price of 1. You don't have to switch channels or anything on the internet. Now, radio, yes. If you're just doing audio only, that's a different story. Again, cool 95.7. Hobbs boys will have their contest against the Artesia squad. Of course, Hobbs winning that game last year. What was the streak you said the Eagles had, the boys, in terms of that matchup with Artesia?
Oh, they have a
6 in a row, isn't it?
Yes.
Guess I answered my own question.
Exactly, yeah.
So anyway, that should be a pretty decent contest here. The Artesia Bulldogs, so far this season, they're ranked 6th in the Max Preps poll. Of course, they're behind teams like Highland Valley, a bunch of those private schools up there. When you take a look at the top 10, there's always a ton of those. St. Pius, of course, Hope Christian, Academy. Academy's at 3rd, Hope Christian 4th, St. Pius coming in at 5th. So that's the type of caliber teams that Artesia has to deal with year after year. Of course, last year they lost in the quarterfinals. They weren't too happy about that. Very close game to Valley, 49-48. So a pretty good season for that Artesia team last year. They were 19-10 and perfect in district, just like the girls were. So that's what we're expecting next, that contest. Artesia boys don't have that big of a good strength of schedule. It's 7.4. And, of course, we talked about the Hobbs Eagles and how much they've played so many tough teams with all the tournaments that they've been up against this year. But Hobbs has been hovering around 1 through 5 usually on the strength of schedule in the 5A prep poll in the boys' side. So we'll see how that stacks up. But first we got a girls' half to deal with. Ron, keys for Artesia to get back in this one.
I think basically what they need to do is just get back to the fundamentals. They're having some difficulty trying to get the ball passed around. They are fortunate enough not to be able to have those passes picked off. However, they need to be a little more aggressive on this side of the ball. They need to get into the lane, be able to drive some nice little shots, maybe even get more fouls. They've been already doing so from the first half, so they've been living off the foul line. They need to do more so, if anything else, and just try to see if they get some select shots and make them drop.
They are getting some physicality in the paint by Lauren Wagner, big post player for Artesia. She likes to kind of lean and do those little side hooks on the blocks there, mostly on the right side of the paint. So Hobbs, I'm sure, Coach Carpenter talking to his low post people about making sure she doesn't have an easy entry pass to be able to lean and try to get up a score on those. Inbound to the backcourt for Artesia to start this second half. They trail Hobbs by 10. Into the front court using upper dribble was Padilla. Sends it back door. It's loose. Picked up left block. Harrison tries to shoot. No, she passes the last second. And the girl I was just talking about waiting for it, Wagner on the right block, gets a push on the right side for the 8th point for her. It is 24-16. A shot from the left corner on the way for the Lady Eagles. Missed off the back by Mojica and chased down for Artesia. Into the front court comes Padilla. That was her 5th rebound, by the way. Slings it up top to Wagner. Over to left wing, holding it for second is Whitmire, trying to move the offense around just a bit. Takes a hard dribble to the right circle, pivots, kicks it up top to Padilla. Over to right wing to Whitmire in front of the Artesia bench. That was Beltran, actually. Returns it back deep to Padilla. And Whitmire gets the handoff on the right wing. Up top of the circle to Harrison. Weak pass to Whitmire, almost picked off by Clay. Cross court right to Padilla. Sends it down to the right corner to Beltran. Pass up top, sails wide and out of bounds on this far sideline to go out for the Hobbs Eagles once again. 21st turnover for Artesia, 4 for Hobbs in the first half. So 17 turnover difference between these two teams, and Hobbs up by 8.
Artesia trying to make something happen. It did not.
Hargrove will come across, hand off to Clay on the right wing, gives it up top to Mojica. Hippity hop move to the right block, fadeaway jumper off the glass, clinks off the front rim as well, no good. And Wagner comes up with her 4th rebound. Of course, Artesia up 16-8 in the boards at the half. And extending on that dimension right now, but they still trail big on the points on the scoreboard. Wagner gives it off the right wing, give and go back to Wagner. Tries to reverse layup left, it gets it a drop. Sails over the rim and count it. She's got 10-4 in this third quarter. Hobbs now just up by 6, 24-18. Coming across the timeline. Hargrove, top of the circle, dribbling through her legs. The two number 20s taking on each other. Padilla, the defender. Coming behind is David to get the ball top of the circle. Slides right on the dribble and returns back to the right wing to Hargrove. Takes a quick first step, tries to drive to the rack, and Coach Carpenter calls timeout. I don't think he likes the slowdown mentality of the Hobbs Eagle perimeter right now.
Yeah, plus just Hobbs has not been able to score any points so far in this third quarter, and that is a little concerning for Carpenter as well. So he wanted to get everybody back on the page. He usually does, so if he's not happy with something, he will definitely take a timeout and fix this situation.
24-18 your score. A 6-point lead for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Came in with that 16-3 record, just moved into the number 1 spot once again. On the Max Preps Bowl, they were there earlier this season.
Right.
People kind of scratching their heads. Hobbs losing to Farmington by 1 on Moriarty game in Moriarty last week, and moves back up to number 1. But the reason for that is that that Farmington team was picked up by Sandia on Tuesday in a district battle.
And Sandia, of course, is ranked lower, so that means, Farmington's going to suffer by dropping 1 at least.
Hobbs basketball after Coach Carpenter's timeout. Give it to Clay on the right baseline. Back to Cunningham, right wing. Gets up on her tiptoes, drives the lane with the left hand. Hand off to David, backdoor on the left side. She goes up strong and scores. Jayla David using some glass work there. 4 points for her. Back to an 8-point Eagle lead. Crossover move now for Whitmire. Coming across the timeline, slings up one-hander across the timeline. Bounced around and pulled down by Harrison. Sails it down to the right corner to Whitmire. Drives base. Backing into her defender, David. And they're going to say she got both hands on the basketball for the double dribble. So Whitmire is going to give another turnover to the orange and black. That's 22 on the game now. Number 22 committing the 22nd turnover, ironically there.
Exactly. Well, it's hard to concentrate when you got a lot of bodies just trying to oppose you.
Hip hop across the line, Mojica. Dump it back door. Reverse layup, Clay. Same side they just scored with David a second ago as Clay puts down her 6th point of the contest. 28-18, back to the biggest lead at 10. They had that towards the end of the second quarter. On the left sideline, getting the pass, Whitmire, driving hard right on the diagonal dribble to the scores table. Pivots, good defense right on top of her. Mojica uses up her dribble. Wraparound pass, ricocheting off an ankle. Loose at the timeline. Clay get a piece of it, picked up by Mojica. Scoop shot left off the rim. Coming up with this Clay, tries to go back up. She puts her shoulder down, but they're going to get a push on her back by Padilla. So Clay will pick up her 3rd rebound of the ball game. They get the foul on Artesia, and that'll go against Padilla, her first personal. First team foul against the Bulldogs. Only the 3rd foul of the ball game for them.
Exactly. They've been playing pretty clean so far, but Hobbs still out in the front.
Hargrove on the left base, gets it into David. 15-footer from the left, nothing but net. David sails it through the cylinder. She's got 2 buckets there in the third quarter, 6 overall. It's 30-18. Hobbs by 12. That is their biggest lead now. Long pass down the court, right side of the lane, Beltran. Pulls back, throws up a 15-footer fadeaway off the back of the rim. Chased down left corner by Artesia on the rebound. That's her first board. Into the front court, hard dribble. Finds Cunningham right corner for 18. Clinks off the rim, no good. Big post player rips it down on the right block. Lauren Wagner, her 5th rebound. Sends it ahead front court to Whitmire, left wing. Drives the right side of the lane. Bumper card by Hargrove. Misses the reverse on the right side with 2 hands. And here comes Artesia for a 2nd in a row rebound. Into the front court. Gives it to the baseline to Clay. Dribbles underneath the hoop. Finds Hargrove left corner for 3 and count it. Swishes it through, does Hargrove. And that's going to be 11 for her now. Only the first tray of the game for the Lady Eagles. 33-18. Their biggest lead is 15 now on the road here at the Bulldog Pit in Artesia. Matching their 3-point shots from last week against Farmington. Driving baseline. Beltran right side. Fadeaway. She comes to the block right. Cunningham was there, but also trying to swat at the ball was Brent Hargrove, and one of them is going to get the foul, I believe. Oh, Kendall Cunningham. That'll be her first.
Hobbs on a 9-0 run right now. That's the reason why they've extended this lead. Is able to Artesia started off with an 4-0 run, but have not scored since then.
Hobbs nails a free throw, Artesia, Beltran getting her first shot to go, and a perfect free throw shooting for Artesia. That's a bright spot right now. They are 6 of 6. Wagner, the post player, 4 for 4. Harrison and Beltran now both 1 for 1. Beltran getting one more free throw here to try to get the game down to a 13-point deficit. Second shot is good. Beltran gets them both. She's got 2 points. 33-20. Hobbs up by the 13 with 3:45 left third quarter. Coming across the timeline to Seiss, who just checked in, left wing on the front court. Gets a screen, bounce pass backdoor on the left side. On the baseline, trying to go up with a Navia Navarro. She was the one that set the screen, then rolled out of it. Came down the left lane, and the ball got knocked out of her hands, and it will be Hobbs' ball on the left baseline. Zepeda inbound. Sends it back deep on the left wing, pulling it down and backing up with the dribble, Munoz. Dumps it down left block, coming back to get it, Munoz. Gives it to Zepeda coming down the left side of the paint, and we got a push foul in the back. Looks like that'll go against Artesia. Kimber Beltran now has 2 personals. Second team foul against the Bulldogs. Lady Eagles to put 4 in the lane. Waiting for somebody to get open, Zepeda. Back to the left wing to Seiss in front of the Hobbs bench. Kicks it down, Zepeda left corner who threw it in, and now she nails a tray. Hobbs starting to light it up from the outside. 2 trays here in the third quarter. 5 points for Zepeda, and Hobbs has their biggest lead at 16. Looks like Artesia steps out on that far right sideline right in front of the Hobbs Lady Eagle bench. That's turnover number 23 for the orange and black.
Yeah, Hobbs trying to get the groove back on the 3-point shots, and so far the last 2 have dropped very nicely. So, yeah, they're trying to get that taste out of the mouth from Farmington, or at least from Moriarty.
Coach Hotling goes back to his bench and brings in his starter, Wagner, the post player. Coming across left side is Zepeda, handoff to Seiss down the paint. Kickoff right wing, fakes a WNBA 3 for Munoz, drives the lane, lost the ball, picked up by Seiss right side, fadeaway 15-footer on the right elbow, no good. Pulled down by Cunningham on the left block, her 4th board. A correction, that was Katie Goodwood who gets her first action. Throws it down the lane and laying it up over the front of the rim with the finger roll, Caitlin Munoz. Her first bucket. 38-20, Hobbs by 18. That's their biggest lead now. Coming across the timeline near side left, Beltran, bad pass to the backcourt, and taken back by Caitlin Munoz. It rolls out before she touched it. It hit the sideline in front of the Hobbs bench left side. So Hobbs will get the ball after a turnover. Again, that's 24 now for Artesia. Mass 7 coming on, and also a timeout. 2:39 left third quarter. The Lady Eagles extend their lead to 18 over Artesia. Working on that 17th win of the season. We'll be back in 30 seconds. (38-20), your Hobbs Lady Eagles have extended the lead to 18. And Ron, what are the keys for this big extension of the score here we're seeing in the third quarter as Artesia is trying to dig themselves out of a hole?
I think Hobbs has just basically gotten back into this game. They looked a little lifeless in certain spots. They were very active in moments, but then Artesia seemed to be kind of taken over a little bit more than Hobbs had planned on it. They had to stop those breaks and be able to get back in the game. So far they've done that. They've been able to take control of this third quarter. and make it their own.
Kendall Cunningham still leading with the Lady Eagles, scoring at 12, yet to score in the second half, and Lauren Wagner has 10, 4 of those in this third quarter. Pass down to Clay in the right corner, front court to Cunningham, right wing, pivots against double team, kicks it up top to Armitage, had the jump for it, spins left of the lane, goes back door to David, double clutch, shot from the right block off the rim, and underneath the hoop for the rebound is Harrison. That's her 4th. Outlet behind her, and dribbling now is Padilla. Stripped for a second by Armitage. Always gets a hand on the ball. Gets it again. It's loose on the hardwood. Picked up by Clay. Turner number 25. She'll go to the rack on the right side for the layup. But you got to credit Armitage for getting that cut out loose there first. So Clay now has 8. 40-20. Already a 20-point lead. How did that get here that quick? Down the lane to Wagner. Double clutch and put a head fake on it. Tried to lean to the hoop on the right side block. And ball gets knocked out of her hand. She wanted a foul call. Not going to get it, and shaking her head in disgust. It'll be Artesia basketball, though, on the left base by Beltran. Throws it back deep to the timeline. Teammate had to chase it hard. Losing the ball is Thacker, picked away by Hargrove for an uncontested lefty layup at the other end. Hargrove has 9 points, including that tray here in the third. 40-20, back to a 20-point lead. Kimber Beltran will throw it across the timeline, left to right. Jumping in the air for it is Harrison. Hand it off to Wagner. By the scores table on the right wing. Kicks it up top to Thacker. Dribbles right with the one-hand bounce pass in traffic, and there comes Clay off to the races with a steal and a layup left side. Nobody even trying to get back to knock that away from her. She's got 6 points in this third quarter and 10 overall, double digits behind Cunningham's 12. 44-20. There we got a 24-point lead on the books. Going the other way, pass to the left wing. Backing out is Padilla. Crossover to her left hand, to the left side of the paint. Lost the ball, stumbled ahead, and a travel.
Yep.
She looked right at the referee, and he didn't even get the whistle up quick enough to blow that one as a violation. That goes to 26 turnovers, and they could really use the 26 points right now instead.
Exactly, they could. But, you know, one of the things that Hobbs has done so far in this game is not lived on the charity stripe, and they're definitely winning off that one.
Not lived on it. They haven't been on it yet.
That's what I'm saying. They have not been on it.
Reverse layup on the right side with 2 hands. Jayla David getting the pass and going up strong. 6 of her 8 points here in the third quarter. Eagles up 46-20, thumping on Artesia. 26-point lead, the biggest of the ball game. Coming across the timeline is Beltran, sliding left to right near the scores table. Stops at the time stripe. Throws a high pass down the right sideline, and it goes out of bounds. Clay got a piece of it, but you again got to credit Armitage at the half-court line, just completely getting the shorts of her opponent there, Beltran.
I always love her determination. Her skill is not matched to her height. She plays above what her size is, and she definitely disrupts play no matter where she's at. She's always got to be around the ball.
Inbound for Artesia, right wing for Harrison's 3. Hard off the back of the rim, high in the air. And there's Armitage at the free throw line. Gets pushed as she pulls it down. No foul call. Dribbles into the front court looking for help. And the ball gets knocked out as she tries to throw it down the lane to Clay. But going to give it back to Lady Eagles. And once again, always going to that basketball is Armitage.
Exactly. She is fierce when it comes to that basketball. She is territorial.
Hargrove will check it back in the inbound to Clay at the free throw line. Runner shot down the lane, clinks off the front of the rim, tipped around in the paint, kicks off a knee, diving on the floor and sliding. Beltran at the top of the circle. Has a couple of Hobbs Lady Eagles helping around on the floor there. Clay and looks like Hargrove diving for the basketball, and Hobbs going to retain possession. Good effort there. Got the jump ball, and they'll retain it in their front court.
You know, once again, you can never tell who's on the court, the bench or the starters.
8 seconds remaining as they throw it down low. Double clutch for Hargrove off the right glass. Ducked between 2 defenders that time. Hargrove now has 11, and Artesia's not even getting a shot off to end the third quarter. They did get it past the half court, but they held on to it. At the end of 3, biggest lead of the ball game now is 28 for your Hobbs Lady Eagles, 48-20. We'll take a 60-second break, come back with more Lady Eagles hoops on the Eagle 100.5 on the internet, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube. Back live here at Artesia, game one of the doubleheader. Your Hobbs boys will be in next, but right now the Hobbs Lady Eagles winning big over Artesia, 48-20. Bulldogs came in at 14-4, Hobbs at 16-3. So Lady Eagles working on their 17th win. Looks a pretty good promise for that here. As they get going, Artesia playing some offense. Leading score for Hobbs, though, 12 for Cunningham, 11 for Hargrove, 10 for Armitage. Or Clay, excuse me, not Armitage. Armitage playing all the D right now. Artesia playing the perimeter passing game. Throw it up top in WNBA 3 for Beltran. Left wide open, hits the front of the rim, chased down in the left wing by Harrison. Her 5th rebound. Tip pass to the left side still to Beltran. Gives it back to Harrison on the left side. Kick it up top to the post, Wagner. Kick it right wing to Whitmire. Pivoting, backing out to the Artesia bench. Cross court left, almost hits the referee. A save attempt by Artesia on the near left sideline. Rolls out of bounds for the turnover. That's 27 of the game for Artesia. Hobbs well underneath their average on the season for their own turnovers. They have 4. Came in at 11 a game. Clay will come across the timeline with the dribble. Touch pass up top to David. Dumps it down to Hargrove, left block. Dribbles around pressure and gives it over to Cunningham, left corner. Up top to Clay, looking for a tray, decides against it. Pivots to Cunningham at the free throw line. Tries a reverse slap, gets stripped, going up with 2 hands and knocked out and went off a Hobbs Lady Eagle. Artesia basketball underneath their hoop. That is a turnover. Actually, just blocked out. No turnover, just blocked shot. I don't know if she was actually extending the shot or not, but regardless, it was knocked out of her hands. And they try to throw it down court for Artesia to nobody. And there's Cunningham just to wait for it and take it away. 28 turnovers now for Artesia. 48-20 Hobbs. On the left wing is Hargrove. Holds it in front of the Hobbs Lady Eagle bench. Crossover to her left hand. Jump stop and a shot. 18-footer off the side rim left. No good. And pivoting for the rebound, Abigail Hochschild. That's her 2nd board. Gives it back to her guard, Beltran. Throws it ahead. Up the court to Hochschild on the right wing. And overthrows here to the Artesia bench right side out of bounds. Not doing themselves any justice. Another turnover there. 29 total now for Artesia.
Now they are definitely turning the ball over way too many times to get a victory here.
At 29 turnovers and 28-point deficit. Clay will get the handoff on the right base. Slings it to the left corner. Hippity-hop dribble for Hargrove to the free throw line. Up top to Mojica. She hippity-hops it to the left block. Takes a step through in the lane. Throws up a hook shot. No good. Put back up on the lean by Jayla David and counted off the left glass. David with 10 points now in double digits. Also a rebound, her 2nd. 50-20. Hobbs by 30, their biggest lead. Bad pass up ahead on the other end. Cunningham picks it off. 30 turnovers now. Over to Mojica, right corner for 3. Rolls around the rim, no good. Rebound left block for Clay. That's her 4th. Up top to Hargrove. Back to Clay, left corner. Spots a 3. Hits the rim, no good. Mojica gets a rebound, her 1st. Hands it off down the lane. Trying to go up with 2 hands is David over the front of the rim, but knocked out of her hands out of bounds on the baseline. Hobbs will hold possession, though. Tipped out by Artesia. Coach Hotling going to go back to his bench and bring back Kaylee Padilla for Abigail Hochschild. Hobbs basketball left baseline underneath their hoop. Sends it to Clay at the free throw line. Spin move. Fade shot in front of the rim. No good. Pulled down by the big post Wagner, her 6th board. Tries to pivot, and they're going to call the push foul on the Lady Eagles in the backcourt. That's Mojica. That's her 3rd personal. First team foul here in the 4th quarter for Hobbs. 5:20 remaining. Eagles by 30. Crossover move in the front court for Padilla. Sends it up top to Wagner. Pivots and kicks out right wing to Beltran in front of the Artesia bench. Good pressure by Mojica. Sliding left with the dribble. Double team with Hargrove. Touch pass to the right wing to Harrison. Dumps underneath to Wagner. Fade in the lane and puts it through over the right side rim. Wagner has 6 points here in the second half and 12 overall to lead Artesia. In the front court, dribbling through her legs. Hargrove for 3 on the right side. In the net. Count it. Hargrove has her 2nd tray of the game. 14 points to lead. The Lady Eagles are now up by a big 31. Get close to mercy roll here, Ron.
They are, and that basketball just went right over the desk and into the crowd. So, yeah, it's just all about control, and so far Artesia is unable to get control in this game.
53-22, Hobbs, 31-point lead. The inbound to the backcourt for the Bulldogs, who trail. Padilla in the front court. Picked up by Zepeda, crossover to left hand, rolls it on the floor, has to pick it up and pivot. Up top to Harrison and a whistle over in front of the Artesia bench, right sideline. Coach Hotling wants the timeout. 4:38 left, 4th quarter. Hobbs leading big, 53-22 over Artesia. We'll come back in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Lady Eagle Network.
All right, we are back with action for the Hobbs Lady Eagles as we're at Artesia. Hobbs up 53-22 with 4:38 remaining in the fourth quarter. Hobbs with the big lead, and here with the call is Ty Friend.
Hobbs looking at their 17th win of the season, their last game before district, as the inbound comes to the Bulldogs to Padilla. Slings it to the free throw line. Fadeaway shot on the way. Clinks off the back of the rim there for Whitmire, but they get a body foul call on the Lady Eagles. That will send Artesia to the line. We've had a dry spell of free throws here in this second half as they get the foul call on Eliana Armitage, her first. Second team foul on the Lady Eagles. On the line is Jenna Whitmire. They're perfect on the stripe, and as I say that, it bounces around the rim and stays in. So count that free throw for Whitmire. They're perfect on the line. 8 of 8 so far.
Well, technically so is Hobbs because they haven't been on the line yet. They're 0 for 0 so far.
Not going to hurt their average,
perfect.
I
Yeah,
guess.
not at all.
53-24, Whitmire got them both. No missed free throws yet for the 9-9 Artesia Bulldogs. Pass to the top of the arc, backcourt. Zepeda one hands it down the lane, right side, going up strong with two hands. Munoz misses. Ball tipped around, pulled down by Zepeda in the paint. Turns and fires up a fadeaway hook in the middle of the paint, counted. Zepeda with her first rebound and her 7th point of the contest. It's now 55-24. Eagles by 31. Three-point shot from the top of the arc. Hits the back of the iron for Harvey. Transition rebound for Zepeda, her second board in a row. Into the front court, right wing. Gives back deep to Armitage at the top of the circle. Crossover move down the lane. Kind of whisks her way through two defenders on the crossover move, and they call the foul. Ball hit off the rim, no good, but she'll get a couple of free throws out of it. First free throw attempt of the ball game. As they get the foul call there on Carmen Harvey. That's her first. And the first team foul here in the fourth.
And there's no wrong answers for the Hobbs Eagles as far as being on the charity stripe, but Armitage is always good and sinks the first one right there.
You haven't had a chance even to mention individual free throw percentages tonight, given a chance there. Armitage coming in at 64% from the line. Hobbs 1 for 1, which is 100%. She's got 11 points, by the way. 3 in double digits, 12 for Cunningham, 14 for Mojica and Clay. With 11, she misses her second free throw. Wagner pulls it down for Artesia, the 7th board for her. Throws it across the top line to Beltran, right wing. Cross court left to Whitmire. Gets in traffic. Runner shot down the lane. Shot puts it off the front of the rim. Put back up and in. Off the glass with two hands for Harrison. She's got 8 points, 6 rebounds. 56-26, back to 30. Here come the Lady Eagles quickly in transition. Quick shot from the left block. Off the rim by Kano. Rebound underneath by Harrison, or make that Wagner again. That's her 8th. Across the timeline, left side to Whitmire. Back to Wagner on the right wing. One dribble, kicked it down to the right corner to Beltran. Fadeaway 3, right corner, no good. Tipped around in the lane. Loose at the free throw line. Diving on the floor for it is Whitmire. Sends it back to Wagner on the right block. Leans and shoots, is fouled from behind. Got bodied up by Kylie Kano. Kano will pick up a foul. And that'll be the 3rd foul on the Eagles, and that will send Wagner perfect on the line so far with 4 for 4 shooting. And has 12 points to lead the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and they continue leading with 3:01 remaining. 56-26. That 30-point lead is going to be big.
That's what you hate about stats. You go 9 for 9, you miss one free throw, and it drops you 10% from 100 down to 90 for one missed free throw. That's just what happened with Wagner. Second shot, swish. She's got 13 now to lead her team. In fact, she's second leading scorer in the game. Mojica leads with 4. Mojica gives it back to Hargrove, left wing. Down low to Cunningham in the left block. Some starters back in. Spence throws up a shot with their left hand and put it through for 2 off the glass. Cunningham for 14. 58-27. Back to a 31-point lead. 2:35 remaining. Deep in the backcourt is Whitmire. Waiting for some help. Sends it to the timeline to Padilla. Dribbling with her left hand. Double teamed. Slings it back to the time stripe to Beltran near the right scores table there. Up top to Padilla. Dump it in the paint to Harrison. Tries to shoot. Rejected by Cunningham. Then goes up high for it. Gets bumped hard by the one she swatted. So they call the foul on Harrison. That's her second personal, second team foul. Cunningham not messing around there. She ripped that one down. Her fourth board. 58-27. 2:15 remaining. Mojica across the timeline. Dribbling with the right hand to the right perimeter. Jump stop. Looking for help. Kick it up top to Cunningham. Setting it up to Clay on the right block. Spence throws up a shot, rejected in the air. Nice block by Whitmire. Gets her own rebound, though, for Clay. That's her fifth. Pass down low to David is over her head, but tipped out to Hargrove on the left wing. Up top to Clay. Swing it to the right corner. Wide open three for Mojica. Nothing but net. Mojica with her second tray here in the fourth quarter. She's got 17. Steal and a hand down to Mojica for the layup. Nice pickoff for Hargrove and the layup for Mojica. So she's starting to light it up. 19 for her. That was another turnover for Artesia. 31 total. And a pickoff of the timeline for Hargrove. 32 turnovers. Finds Mojica again for another layup. She's made 3 buckets in a row. A couple of trays here in the fourth quarter and 21 points overall. She's got 3 trays for the game. 65-27. Now we got a mercy roll going on. 38. Need to have 35 to keep the clock running. 1:10 remaining. In the front court, unloading to left wing to Harvey. Set it up top, the free throw line off the dribble to Whitmire. Tries to go to the rack on the right side. Double clutch is ripped hard by Cunningham. Knocks her ball out of bounds. No foul call, but it will be Artesia basketball. And a bunch of subs returning for both teams. Most of them Hobbs players, though. Bench personnel getting some time out here. 1 sub in for Artesia. Bulldog basketball right baseline, 45 remaining. Inbound to the right corner to Wagner. Hands it in the corner and gets it back on the right block. Touch pass down the lane. Going high with the runner is Whitmire. Misses everything on that one. Pull down for the Lady Eagles on the boards. As the rebound going to be credited to Caitlin Munoz. Got the ball knocked out of her hands as she tried to drive to that far left sideline, but it goes back to the Lady Eagles. Here comes Armitage with 22 seconds remaining. Over to Seiss on the left wing. Spots a 3. In and out, no good. Underneath the hoop, ripping it down hard is Wagner. She's got 9, so she's got almost a double-double with 1 more board. Pass to the half court. Fumbling around as Padilla finally gets across the timeline. Down to the right wing. Beltran trying to thread it low to Wagner, but throws it off the leg. And instead picked off for the Lady Eagles by Seiss. That is going to be it here. The clock will run out on that one on the mercy roll. 65-27, your final score. Your Lady Eagles get the 38-point mercy roll victory over Artesia. Hobbs now 17-3 on the season and drops Artesia to 14-5. We'll take a 3-minute break, come back with the Hobbs Lady Eagles postgame show live on the Eagle 100.5 on the radio and on the web at hobbsamerica.com and YouTube. We're back in Artesia at the Bulldog Pit as your Hobbs Lady Eagles get their 17th win. They're 17-3 now. Big mercy roll victory over Artesia, 65-27. Actually bigger than last year. They won by 30 at Tasker Arena. Go on the road and win by 38. But that first quarter, nothing but a blowout at that point, Ron. Hobbs only up 12-6, up by 6 at halftime, too, 24-18. Starting to extend the lead big time in the third quarter, but all because of the turnovers. Total of 32 for Artesia in this game. Hobbs with only 4.
Just could not keep the handle going for Artesia. They tried to doing several things. Many things didn't work, and that's the reason why they had the turnovers. This is the 9th loss in a row for Artesia against the Hobbs Lady Eagles. I don't expect that to change anytime soon, but Artesia did come out here. I will say this, that they came out here in the first half, and they did try to do different things to try to shake it up a little bit. Got close as far as the points go, but other than that, they could not seem to get a handle on the ball, and that's the reason why they had all the turnovers as well.
I think we're still on the air here on the internet at least. Looks like we've lost our radio feed. Sorry about that. We've had some internet issues here at the Bulldog Pit. Final score again, 65-27. Your Lady Eagles winning by 38. As we look at the point producers in this game, first of all for Artesia, leading scorer Lauren Wagner, post player 13. She was one shy of perfect on the line. She went 5 of 6 from the charity stripe. 8 points Patty Harrison. She got a tray, 1-for-1 free throw shooting effort. A couple of free throws for Beltran, 2 for 2 for 2. Also, Ashton Kraft had a couple of fun. Big-time points for Bryn Hargrove. And she ended up with a couple of trays going on in that second, or make it fourth quarter. Also had another three-pointer in the game as well, so 21 for her. Clay finished, or Cunningham finished with 14. She was the leading scorer for most of the game, but a little bit more of a quiet second half, so 14 for her. And coming up at third was Brett Clay with 11. She was 1 of 2 from the line. Rebounds now. Brett Clay, the leader, with 5. 4 for Kendall Cunningham, and 3 for Aliana Armitage. Hobbs did get out rebounded in this one, 27-20. But of course, looking at how the game worked, a lot of turnovers. 32 for Artesia led to transition points. Not a lot of missed shot opportunities there for our Hobbs in this game, so did have to do a lot of putbacks for missed shots. Hobbs didn't get very many free throw opportunities. 1 of 2 after one player getting the line. That was Brett Clay. She went 1 of 2. So that's pretty much it for the line. Lady Eagles again with the big 38-point victory with 3 scores in double digits. Other point production, four get in double digits. Forgot about Jayla David. She had 10 points and 2 rebounds. And let's not forget about Madsen Zepeda. She had 7 with a tray in the game. And a bucket for Caselyn Munez with 2. So that's your final wrap-up on scoring. I've got a couple players off the list there. Again, Hobbs only 4 turnovers in this game and a pretty clean contest. Kind of a slow start, but kind of picked up the momentum as this one went along. And they're doing the homecoming court here on the Bulldog Pit court as we speak for their winter season here, as they've got a bunch of couples out of the court and a little bit of delay here before the next game. Of course, the Hobbs boys are up next, taking on Artesia. Eagles come in ranked 18th in the state with 7 wins on the season. And the Bulldogs currently kind of moving up that 4A chart just a bit. A lot of tough competition with those private schools, though. They have to always battle with them towards the end of the season with the, coming up to the state tournament and such. So we'll see how they get going with that in just a few minutes. Ron, any final comments about the girls' game as we're getting ready to switch over for some Hobbs Eagle boys basketball?
I expected a little smoother game than what we got. I mean, other than that, they did clean up the mistakes in the first half, got into the second half, were able to create a lot of great shots, and as well as a lot of turnovers for Artesia. So you know what? I think Coach should be very happy with the direction in the second half of this game. He likes what he saw as far as the big victory, and definitely since they got in a mercy rule, should be happy about that as well.
Lady Eagles will have a home game coming up on the 30th, so just a few days away. What is that, Tuesday?
That is Tuesday.
And that'll be a 7 o'clock tip-off. That will be here on the Eagle 100.5. Don Morgan and T.J. Merrick will be back on the radio for that one. And, of course, the Hobbs boys will head to Roswell to start off their district schedule. We're going to wrap it up here for the girls' contest. Final score again, your Lady Eagles 65, Artesia 27. They're 17-3 on the season, number 1 in the Max Preps poll in the state of New Mexico. If you want the boys game on the radio, please go to our sister station, the Eagle, or make that cool 95.7. That's 95.7 for the radio broadcast only. Stay with us on YouTube as we're going to just go into the boys game. They'll get warm-ups going on here in just a minute. Pregame show coming up in a few minutes as we'll have the boys game in its entirety on the same video feed on YouTube. Again, final 65-27. Stay with us. More hoops to come tonight at the Bulldog Pit in Artesia. Thanks to Evie Stuber back to the station, Ron Gunner, and myself, Ty Friend, and sitting right next to me, Mr. Farmer from the Hobbs News Sun. He looks forward to this next game, even though he is a Chief fan. Have a good one. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome, everyone, to the Artesia Bulldog Pit. Hobbs Eagle basketball live on the internet. We do have some problems with our technology tonight. We don't have a radio feed at this point. Hopefully we're coming across the internet live and well. If anybody hears this, knows my texting number, give me a call and let me know that you're hearing us on the internet. We had the issue come up right before getting on the broadcast, so we're trying to work on that right now from the station, but it is going to be on the, hopefully, internet. You get the actual video feed regardless. If our audio's not there, I guess we're just going to have to go with it anyway. Of course, your Hobbs Eagles coming off a loss against the Cleveland Storm recently, 92-78. Ron, the Eagles have been off for a little bit, kind of a little bit rust have to deal with, practices, scrimmages, things of that nature. Of course, this Artesia Bulldog team had a game on Tuesday night. They lost to Roswell. That was a game on the road, so they have a little bit more action component to work with. But the Hobbs Eagles coming off that loss, they're going to be a little bit hungry because they've got the district starting next week, which will be at Roswell.
Yeah, and Artesia wasn't able to get too much offense going on. In fact, they only got 20 points in the second half against that Roswell team. Roswell not looking the greatest either. So this should be a matchup that Hobbs should be able to exploit with ease. And you said they've had 3 games last week. They've been a little rusty. They haven't had a couple of games, or they've had some days off. So maybe there'll be a rust. Hopefully there won't be, because this is their tune-up game before they get to Roswell. And Roswell should be pretty easy, too. It's going to be another road game. In fact, the next home game for Hobbs will be in Clovis and Hobbs, of course. And that'll be a Friday night, so that'll be an interesting game. But right now we got to face and be able to see what we can do against this Artesia team. Again, not most explosive team as far as offense, but they still have some things they can do that will shake up this Hobbs team and make them work for the points.
Big scoring against Cleveland. Abraham Pena led the squad with 26 points. He had 3 3-pointers in the game. Braylon Vega, the sophomore, had 15 points and had 3 trays, so 6 combined in the tray shots for Pena and Vega, combining for 41 to the Hobbs Eagles 78 points. Still losing the ball game, but still stepping up pretty big. 8 trays were converted by Hobbs in that game, and that was a pretty tough week of basketball, Ron. Of course, the Eagles winning against Los Lunas, who was one of the top 10 ranked teams in the state, and picking them off made them drop a few spots in the Max Preps poll. And oh, whoa, one of the Artesia cheerleaders just hit the deck, had her up high in the air and landed on her back. Wow. But getting off the track there. But anyway, Los Lunas a big win. Got the win against Las Cruces High to start the week. Of course, Cleveland, pretty tough squad, top number 2 in the Max Preps poll. So that's the tough game as well. So I think that's a good tee-up, getting ready for district, plus this game here tonight. Hobbs Eagles would like to punch their ticket to the 8th win of the season. Yeah,
Cleveland with the best strength of schedule in the 5A, and definitely have only lost to Volcano Vista. Need to tune that up. Otherwise, yeah, Hobbs looked good for 3.5 quarters, sticking strong against that Cleveland team. Could not make it last to the 4th quarter.
Eagles stars, Braylon Vega, Abraham Pena, Jairus Turbiatis, Malachi David, and Parker Henderson. And the Eagles will have the first possession of this ball game. Again, we have some Mr. Thompson. Jairus Turbiatis is going to fire a 3 in the left corner off the back of the rim. No good. Malachi David tips it out to Vega to keep it going for the Eagles. Pass down low is knocked away, though. First Eagle turnover. And so that'll be Artesia basketball. Into the front court, or at least stop it with the breaks before the front court. Diego Wesson. Wesson will get across the timeline to David Hammond, and he'll slow it up against Jairus Turbiatis. Unloads to the left wing to Jaron Watkins. Kick it up top. And a spin move in the lane. Fadeaway jumper for the free throw line for Wesson off the side rim. No good. Rebound for the Eagles. That's Parker Henderson, the big boy. 6'11", junior for the Hobbs Eagles. To Payne in the front court on the right wing. Sends it down the right block. Turbiatis, a wraparound hook shot from the right to left underneath the hoop. Misses everything. And a rebound on the way for Nia Estrada. Sends it to the left baseline. Flipped up by David Hammond to the top of the circle to Diego Wesson. Back deep as Hammond will take a few dribbles. Unload to the left wing to Watkins. Lost the ball off his knee, top of the circle. Jairus Turbiatis almost had it. Recovers and unloads to the right side. Dribbling up top off the left hand is David Hammond. Slinging over to left wing to Watkins. Correction, make that. Well, it is Watkins, excuse me. Shuffle pass up top to Jaron Watkins. Over to the right wing to Estrada. Bounce pass top of the circle. The perimeter passing game to Hammond. Spin move to his left hand. Bounces over to left wing to Watkins. Backs it out in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench on the left side. Up top with a three for Estrada after the pass. It hits the bottom of the backboard. Here comes Pena after the rebound. Into the front court, spot shot from 18 on the left side, clinks off the rim. Javis Turbiantes tries a hook shot to put it back up, gets rejected. Pulled down by Malachi David for a second rebound. He tries to go up strong from the left block, gets down low, and then tries to propel himself up underneath the hoop. They call the foul on Artesia, and the fans don't like that call.
No, anytime a fan sees a call they don't like, of course, they're going to be very vocal about it. But, yeah, Hobbs definitely working so far, trying to get into this game and doing some great things offensively, defensively. No scores yet, but we can see one right now with him on the line. David's on the line.
Yeah, Malachi David's first free throw up and good. That was Diego Wesson that picked up the foul. I'll make that Nia Estrada his first personal. One more shot for Malachi David. Trying to add his second point on the scoreboard. He came in shooting 56%. Hobbs at 67% as a team and switches the second free throw. So David nails both of them. It's 2-0 early. Just underway here in the first quarter. Trap pressure as they get the ball into the free throw area in the backcourt. Driving across is Wesson. Unloads in the left wing and gets it back. Up top to Hammond in the front court. Stop and go. Lost his bounce. Knee came out, and then he tried to catch his balance over in the left wing and then pulls out towards the base or timeline off the dribble. Gives over to left wing to Wesson. Back deep, top of the circle. Spin for Estrada. Kick it over to right side to Hammond. Up top, after a screen to Estrada. Or correction, make that Watkins top of the arc. And finds Estrada on the left side. One hand bounce pass to the time stripe to Hammond. Is coming out on Diaz Pena. He'll hand it off to Wesson. Dribbles around the right wing. Back to Watkins, top of the circle. Runner shot, left side of the paint. Off the dribble and scores. Swishes it through. Watkins with his first bucket of the game. We are tied at 2-2. 5:57 left first quarter. Live here on the internet only at this point. Trying to get you back on the radio if we can. The high post man to get the ball. Malachi David dribbles up top of the circle in the front court. Waiting for some help. Flicks it back to Vega. Stop and go. Shot from the left elbow. Fade away out the front of the rim. No good. No rebounding for the Eagles. Pulled down by Watkins. His first. And we got a whistle in front of the Artesia bench on the far left sideline of the backcourt. No timeouts called here as the official's going to have a little conference. Players are kind of wondering what the call is. The official in front of the Artesia bench now coming to the half-court line to talk to another ref there. And now all three going to have a meeting. And three refs stay at the half-court line. Players are on the sideline wanting to know what's going on. And they're pointing towards the Hobbs bench now. It looks like they might be trying to call for an administrator possibly. I don't know what's going on here. Two more officials staying at the half-court stripe. They send everybody to the benches, and no explanation yet what the deal is.
Yeah, with 2:03 in this game so far, and already we have a little bit of controversy.
No indication, no signaling yet of what we're looking for here. And I'm not sure. The whistle was right in front of the Artesia bench, so I didn't see any fouls because, I mean, that would have been pretty obvious. I'm not sure what else they could have been discussing at this point, but they did not see any timeout signal by the coaches. We'll take a quick 30-second break. You're listening live and watching live on HobbsAmerica.com on YouTube. Hopefully to return to the radio here shortly on Cool 95.7. Long delay here in Artesia. We did not get any explanation over the PA system. I'm not sure what the heck was going on. They sent both teams to the benches. Referees just kind of talk for a few minutes at the half-court line. Went and said something to the coaches, and it's Artesia basketball. So I do not know what's going on. David gets ahead on the pass up court for the Eagles to get the steal. Artesia with the turnover. Pass to Pena left side, front court, 18-foot off the side of the rim, no good, and pulled down on the right block by the big kid for Artesia, Clay Kincaid. He stands at 6'7", goes ahead down the lane to the other end to Charlie Campbell, tries a scoop on the left block, rejected by Malachi David to the baseline. Kept right on top of the basketball that time and did not swat too far up on that one.
And it looked like it was just a little confusion, but we're getting back into action now.
The back court, or back of the rim on the pass play, back door that time, laid up and in for two. Hobbs caught flat-footed in the paint on defense, and Charlie Campbell scores his first bucket. I guess they said that the scoreboard clock had not started running is what I'm hearing. Not sure what, they finally figured it out, and they're trying to figure out how much time to put back on it. Thank you, Michael Thompson. Give me an indicator on that one. Pass to Malachi David at the right corner. He fires a three and nails it home. Big man wants to get part of the scoreboard here. 5-4, Hobbs by one. Pass to half court, breaking the pressure is Diego Wesson. A runner shot with one hand down the lane, bouncing around the rim and good. Wesson gets it a drop. 6 points now for Artesia, their first lead of one. Here come the Eagles. Into the front court is Pena. He'll slow it down, gets a screen on the left from Turbiatis. Dribbles to the top of the circle. Bounce pass to Vega, clicks it over to Malachi David on the right wing. We got a whistle on the near sideline here left. Looks like somebody pushing in the middle of the paint. That's going to be the big kid, Enrique Armendariz, 6'3", 280. Definitely got to be off the Artesia Championship football team this year. And it's going to be a sub for Coach Ross as he brings in Lyric Soria. Getting some early action here with 4:03 left, halfway through the first quarter. Hobbs down by one, 6-5. Vega inbound on the left baseline, bounce into Malachi David. He's going to spot a three from the left side. This one off the front of the rim. Ball gets bounced around under the rim. They get the rebound by Jaron Watkins. And a push foul by the Eagles underneath. Parker Henderson has picked up one. So that's going to be Henderson's first personal, first team foul on the Eagles. Trap pressure going on, 2-1-1. Add another one in the back deep there for Henderson. Breaking across though with the dribble is Charlie Campbell. On the right wing against Vega. Stop and go, crossover through his legs. Ref's got the 5-second count on. Slings over to the left side to Estrada. Up top to Campbell with his right hand through his legs. Actually, that's Watkins. Jump stop left elbow. Turnaround hook shot at the back of the rim. Big man Henderson getting up strong in the middle of the paint to pull it down. That's his second board. Outlet to Vega coming out left of the lane. Goes to the rack with a scoop shot and scores. Nobody stepping up to defend him. And Vega has his first bucket. Hobbs by one. 2-on-2 in the backcourt going on. The pressure with Pena and Soria. As coming across with it now Campbell for the Bulldogs. Drives right baseline, tipped out by Soria, and then fumbled out of bounds by Campbell. Soria coming off the bench playing some tough D. The freshman point guard getting a turnover early for Artesia. That's their second of the ball game. And Eagles are going to try to extend their lead. Clock at 3:11 left, first quarter. Again, we're live on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. We have some technical difficulties on our internet feed to the radio, so if you're hopefully to stick it out with us on the internet if you have connection. As it's Hobbs basketball. Pena in the front court for the Hobbs Eagle bench, right wing. Bouncing up top to Soria. He pivots. Trying to see some movement here. Kicks it left behind. Pena has to chase it back near the timeline. Wait for a screen from Malachi David, top of the circle. Uses it. Comes down the right side of the lane. Reverse layup on the left and scores off the glass. He always knows where there's a gap, and he gets there. Pena now with his first bucket. 9-6 Eagles. Their biggest lead is 3. And driving to the other end, there's a foul. Going to probably be a clamp foul from behind that time on the Eagles. They'll charge that on Soria, his first, second team foul on the Eagles. They'll get it back on the 28-foot line here on the right sideline. Hobbs by 3, and Parker Henderson has got a battle going on before the inbound with Enrique Armendariz. Different body types too. Big staunchy Armendariz and the beanpole there, big man Parker Henderson. Stop and go for Hammond to the top of the circle. Continues down right lane. Runner shot with two hands from the right block and throws it through the hole. Not a pretty shot, floater there, but he kind of slams it with the hands and gets it to drop. Artesia has 4 scores so far, 3 for the Eagles. Hobbs by 1. Pena will bring it across the timeline. Slowing it down on the offense. Finds Soria on the right wing in front of the Artesia bench. Back up top to Pena. Back door, there's Parker Henderson trying to get it and come up high with it. Knocked out of his hands low by Enrique Armendariz and rolls out on the baseline. Should be Hobbs basketball. Substitution for the Eagles. Josiah Clay, the sophomore guard, checking in. He's had some pretty good games over the last few weeks, too. He came up in the APS tournament and made a little bit of noise up there.
Yeah, he's been getting more attention, definitely more time on the court, and we are on the radio right now.
Oh, good. We're back live. I don't think so.
No, we are.
Josiah Clay gets a pass in the paint. Floater shot, swishes it through the hole. Coming off the bench quickly. He's got the first bucket of the game, 11-8. Eagles by 3. Down the lane, hippity hop, reverse layup, rejected by Parker Henderson. Clay comes down with the ball. He'll dribble into the front court. 3-on-3, he comes down with a scoop on the right side, misses off the side of the rim. Pulled down by Artesia by Clay Kincaid, his second rebound. Up ahead to the right corner on the pass, spin move for Watkins, kicks it to the free throw line, and Clay Kincaid coming from the other end. He shoots a jumper from the free throw and puts it through. One of the big men putting down the J. 1:27 left here in the first, 11-10 Hobbs, and going to the other end, a fade for Pena on the right baseline, comes off the arm. They're going to say he was bodied up. Hopefully it's going to be a shooting foul. And they're going to get the foul on Artesia. They'll charge that one to David Hammond, his first, second team foul. As Hobbs went back to their bench, brings back Jairus Turbiatis. Inbound to the right corner to David, to Turbiatis on the right wing. To Pena right side in front of the Artesia bench, gets a screen from Turbiatis, sends it back to Soria at the timeline. Crossover move against a 2-3 zone. He'll back it out to the timeline, setting up the offense. Good patience, lefty dribble. Unloads to Clay in the left corner. Stop and go to the free throw line behind his back. Backs it out. Top of the circle. Over to Pena on the right side. 1 minute left in the quarter. Screen from David. Spot shot for 18. Fade away and puts it through the rack. Pena from the right side, 18-footer. 4 points for Pena to lead the Eagles. 13-10, matching the biggest lead. In the backcourt, getting the pass is Byer. Correction, that was Watkins. Into the front court, and getting the pass retreat is Wesson. Back to the timeline to Hammond. Clay. Dribbles left, and the handoff coming over the left side to Watkins. Crossover move, stop and go down the lane. Fumbles off his feet, recovers it, and returns back deep to Wesson. To the timeline to Hammond. Soria on top of him defensively. Back to the timeline with 20 seconds. Kicks it right to Diego Wesson at the timeline as well. Slides across the timeline with the dribble to the left. Returns back right side to Watkins. Lost the ball, stripped by Pena, turner number 2. Pena with the bounce pass to Soria, left block. Lost it on a fumble. Hand off to Turbiatis. Fade shot from the left block. Misses over the rim. Long rebound and a half-court shot at the buzzer over the top of the backboard for David Hammond. No good. So your Hobbs Eagles leading by 3 at the end of the first, 13-10 over Artesia. We'll take a 60-second break and come back live on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Back live in Artesia. We should have a radio feed now along with our internet, HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube, and on the radio at Cool 95.7. Sorry for the technical difficulties here at the Bulldog Pit. Lots of media competing for the airwaves. Second quarter start here. Hobbs leading 13-10. Leading scorer so far. In fact, Artesia's got 5 guys all with 2 points apiece. Campbell, Hammond, Wesson, Watkins, and Kincaid. And for your Eagles, 4 for Pena, and then 2 apiece for Vega, Clay, and David has 5 actually to lead the team with that tray and 2 free throws. Artesia basketball to start the second, down 13-10. At the half-court line, dribbling left to right is Wesson. Uses up his dribble. Good pressure by Hernandez, who just checked in. Unloads to the near sideline to Watkins. Keeps it down to the right corner to Estrada. To the right base, fadeaway jumper for Wesson. Air ball. Loose on the right block. Gets his own rebound. Goes back up with the right hand. Gets knocked to the floor and the foul. Counted over the rim. Wesson with 4 points. And that rebound, chance for a 3-point play.
And to tie the game at 13 with 7:30 to go in this second quarter.
Jairus Turbiatis picking up his first personal, first team foul. And Estrada will shoot the first free throw of the game for Artesia. Eagles are 2 for 2 on the line. Malachi David got his 2 throws earlier in the first quarter. Eagles had 7 rebounds in the first quarter and 6 for Artesia. Missing the free throw off the back of the rim. Jairus Turbiatis comes down with it, his second board of the game. 13-12, Hobbs by 1. 7:20 left second quarter. Top of the arc, Vega front court. Stop and go. Tries a fade shot from the left block with 2 hands and fell backwards. Got pushed by Artesia. They'll get the foul hook up there with Frankie Galindo. Let's see if they change. Oh, yeah, they did. Jaron Watkins gets it instead, his first. That'll be the first team foul on Artesia.
Yeah, Vega's the second leading scorer of the team so far this season with 203 points.
77% from the free throw line and bricks it off the back of the rim, unfortunately. Eagles now 2 of 3 from the charity stripe. Still sitting at 2 points. Leading scorer for Hobbs this season, Pena was 17.9 and Vegas 10.7. Misses both of them off the back of the rim. On the left block, now at the pivot, looking for somebody to pass to for Artesia. Diego Wesson, his second board. Sends it ahead to a breaking Hammond. Shot, fade away from the right base, no good. Battle for the boards. Ricocheting off both teams. It looks like it came off Turbiatis last. Also had a piece of the hand of Clay Kincaid for Artesia. The official's going to go with the orange and black. Bouncer back door on the left side. Reverse slam with the left hand and putting it through is Wesson. He's got 6. Back-to-back buckets for him here in the second. 13-14, Hobbs down by 1. In the front court, Nick Pena, who just checked in, bounces it back to Pena at the timeline. To Pena, who comes back and gets it top of the circle. Eagles down by 1. Backs it out to the timeline, does Pena off the dribble. Over to Pena on the right wing, drives underneath the hoop left. Bounce pass the left baseline, Hernandez. Backdoor to Turbiatis, right side, 2 hands, slipping off the glass for 2. Turbiatis now with his first bucket. Bad pass to half court, stolen by Turbiatis as well, and flicks it to Pena on the far right sideline. That's Artesia's 3rd turnover. Across to Pena as he comes to the right side, gets a screen from Turbiatis. Behind his back off the dribble, stop and go. Flicks it to Pena, right wing, 18-footer fade, in and out, no good. Left block rebound for Jaron Watkins, his 3rd. Over to far left side to Hammond. Slings it across the timeline near side to Wesson. Bad pass to the timeline, taken away by Vega. Comes down the lane with the scoop and runs over his defender. They call the charge. Vega got out of control, went sky high in the air. Defender was set up for a long time there. That'll be the first on Vega, 2nd team foul, and also the 3rd turnover for the Eagles. But it was a turnover prior to that by Artesia. They have 4.
Yeah, and Vega just saw the basket, thought he had an open lane, and instead, right at the last second, did not see his defender in there, run him over, and of course got the charge for all that problems.
6:02 remaining second quarter. Hobbs by 1, 15-14. The trap pressure 2-2-1. Full court trap for Hobbs. Back deep with the ball, looking for help is Nia Estrada. Sends it across, left wing front court to Campbell. Bounce it up top to Estrada. Hobbs now in a 2-3 zone, it appears. Over to the right wing to Hammond. He pivots, spins, comes back left with the pass to Watkins. We got a whistle underneath. It looks like Pena got shoved to the baseline. And he wants the call, but they're going to go against him instead. Pena was trying to show the official he got the worst of it. They called on him, though. That's his first. 3rd team foul on the Eagles, and they will give it to Artesia on the left baseline.
Maybe a little too aggressive, maybe not. Either way, bad call for Hobbs, and Artesia still has the ball.
Watkins inbounds left corner to Wesson. Back to the timeline with the dribble against Turbiatis. Crossover to his left hand, cross to the right to the free throw line, flick it up top to Campbell. Campbell comes left circle and hands it back behind him to Watkins. Crossover move to his left hand, behind his back, top of the arc. Another handoff to Wesson, right to left, down the left side of the lane. High arching layup, bouncing off the front of the rim, no good. Put back up with 2 hands off the right glass. As converting is Clay Kincaid, his 4th point, 3rd rebound. 16-15 Artesia. Thumb down for Nick Pena to set up the play for the Eagles as he comes across. He's just going to keep it well outside the perimeter. Trying to get the wings to spread out. Throws it to Turbiatis' right corner. Over to Story on the right wing with the jab step. Dribbles to the free throw line. Flicks it over to left corner to Pena for 3 off the back of the rim. No good. Rebound left baseline by Nia Estrada, his 2nd. Send it ahead, wide open down low on the right block. Reverse slamp and put it through. Back-to-back for Kincaid. He's got 6. 18-15. Artesia's biggest lead is 3. Crowd is cheering. And it's going to be a timeout call for Coach Ross and the troops. They want to talk. They don't want this run to go any further. 4:40 remaining, second quarter. Artesia 18, your Eagles 3-15, down by 3. We're back in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
Well, we are back here live at the Bulldog Pit in Artesia as Hobbs is trailing just by 3. Had to take a timeout. There was a big run going on for Artesia, so we had to get back on track. The Hobbs Eagles did. 18-15 is your score. As we get back, of course, we got the great call from Ty Friend.
Leading score right now for your Hobbs Eagles, Malachi David. He's got 5 points, including a tray. Abraham Payton with 4, 2 apiece for Vega. Also Josiah David, right wing. Up top to Soria. Trying to get somebody open. Underhands it to Clay on the right side. Last quarter left. It's the pickoff by Watkins. Turn number 4. Takes 1-2 and up on the shot underneath the hoop. No good. Rebound in the left back block by Campbell. Kick out left for 3. There's the down by Weston. Weston has 7 points here in the second quarter. And the Eagles trail by 6, the biggest deficit. At the other end, right away for Pena going to the left baseline, going towards the out of bounds, and Jack over the rim for 2. Pena now with 6 to lead the Eagles. 21-17, we got a call on the near right sideline. It looks like Artesia must have stepped out.
They did.
That will be out of bounds, so that will be another turnover. 5 total for Artesia, 4 for the Eagles. And now Vega returns for Hobbs. Again, they trail by 4. Been down by as many as 6 just seconds ago. Coach Monaghan arguing for a push out there, a foul on the Eagles, and not going to get it. Talking to the other official on the other side of the court. They post up Malachi David in the paint, decides no jump hook on that one, gives to Turbiantis. He spins in the lane, comes off the back of the rim off the 360. David with the rebound on the right baseline, trying to pivot out of pressure. They call the jump ball. As getting underneath him and tying up the basketball was Charlie Campbell. The arrow's going to stick with the Eagles on that one, so they will keep underneath the hoop. Down by 4. On the right base will be Vega to inbound. 3:26 left, second quarter, down by 4. Up top to Pena, fires up a 3 and nothing but net. Pena now with 9 points to lead Hobbs.
Hobbs up needed that one as they needed an injection of something to get them life getting back into this game with 3:18 to go in this second quarter.
Second tray of the game for the Eagles, down by 1. Bad inbound to the corner right, stolen by Vega underneath the hoop, reverse layup right side and puts it through. Vega has 4 points. That's the 6th turnover. Now Coach Monaghan says, I don't want the bleeding to go on any longer. So we've had a bunch of tourniquets being handed back and forth here. 22-21, Eagles now up by 1 with 3:13 remaining. And that's the thing. You get these little runs going on, and you got to stop the bleeding somehow, because sometimes when you get down, you get 2 down, and then that team's going to be up by 10. And Hobbs is known for that. I mean, they like those little spurts where they get a 9-2 run and take a big lead.
Exactly, and that's what they've been known for from long ago, where they get their defense going strong, be able to get those turnovers quickly and easily. Then, of course, they're in their front court. They just go ahead and lay it up, get another basket in, just like they did a moment ago. And before you know it, you've got 8 points against you, and you've got to stop that run before it becomes a bigger mountain than you want it to be.
Don't forget, next Tuesday we'll be on the road to start the district schedule at Roswell. 6:45 pregame, tip-off at 7. Taking on the Coyotes. Again, they played Artesia on Tuesday and beat them at home in Coyote Land. Long inbound to half court is tipped out of bounds by Artesia in front of the Hobbs bench, far left sideline. Artesia coming out of a timeout, getting another turnover, number 7 in the contest. Not what Coach Monaghan drew up on the marker board over there on the sideline.
No, I doubt he would have said, okay, now we're going to go with this turnover, and we're going to go from there.
Inbound to Clay in the backcourt. Pena's still out there. Turbiantis, Vega, and David. Clay comes across the stripe, gives it off to Pena left wing. Down low to David. David just kind of puts up a lefty hook off the glass and throws it through for 2. David has 7. 24-21 Eagles by 3. Match their biggest lead. A pass down the lane, reverse layup, left side. The ball trickles into the rim by Charlie Campbell, and a foul 2 on the Eagles. So Campbell's up to 4 points now. They call the foul against the Eagles. Malachi David, his first, 14th foul, and a chance for that 3-point play for Campbell. Artesia only been on the line once on an and 1. They missed the free throw for Wesson, but now a chance here for Campbell to add 1 more point to his totals and tie it up. First shot, or only shot up and in and out, no good. Waiting for Turbiantis on the right block. Artesia not even trying to rebound that one. 3rd board for Turbiantis. Bouncer to the timeline to Clay. He puts his thumb down for the play call. Vegas are going to run to the right side, gets the pass. Jab step, give it to David, free throw. Up top to Clay for Trey, NBA distance. Off the back of the rim. High arching rebound there for Campbell, his 2nd board. Up ahead to a breaking postman who stutter steps on the right block. He tasted a wide open bucket for a second, and Eglin then saw somebody coming over, actually Kincaid. Turbiantis was in the area and got nervous and stumble stepped for that 8th turnover, and that's hurting Artesia here as Hobbs now pulling into this lead. Josiah Clay will take his time as he comes across the charity stripe, or the half-court stripe up top to Pena. Front court action for the Eagles. Over to Vega on the right side. Jab step. Here comes the NBA three off the front of the rim. Good block out on the right baseline for Artesia's Diego Wesson, his 3rd rebound. Pass to the far left sideline to Hammond. Throws it across. Ball ricocheted and taken away by Turbiantes. Back-to-back turnovers. 9 total now for Artesia. To Clay in the front court in front of the Artesia bench on the right wing. Up by 1. Dribbling left, unloads to Vega. Vega will come up top to circle off his dribble. Crossover move to his left hand down the lane. Scoop shot rejected over the front of the rim. Nice swat by Clay Kincaid. Picked up by Campbell in the front court. Jump stop, top of the circle. Sends it right wing to Estrada. His 3 is a swish. Estrada with his first bucket of the ball game. That is the 2nd tray of this 2nd quarter for the Artesia Bulldogs, who lead by 2. Pena across the timeline off the dribble. 26-24 Artesia. On the right wing in front of the Artesia bench. Takes the screen from Turbiantes. Gives it right back to him. To the right baseline off the dribble. Underhands it back door. David tries to get up strong between 2 defenders. They body him up in the foul. Ball sailed well underneath the hoop that time, but he get 2 free throws. Check the foul on this one. Looks like they'll charge that to Nye Estrada. Just his first. 2nd team foul against Artesia, which will put David on the line. Malachi David 2 for 2. Eagles as a team 2 for 4 for 50%. First shot's a swish for David. He's got 8 points. He's 2nd leading scorer behind Abraham Pena with 9. Hobbs came into the contest shooting 67% from the charity stripe.
One more and they'll tie the game at 26.
Of course, the Hobbs Lady Eagles with a mercy roll win earlier in this gym, beating Artesia by 38. 2nd shot a swish by David. We'll give you some updates on that game here in a minute. 9 points now for David, tying up Pena. We're tied at 26 on the scoreboard, too, with 1:05 remaining. Coming across the timeline with a stop and go. Crossover move. Hammond on the far left side in front of the Hobbs bench. Gets a screen, takes it up top to Kincaid. Over the right wing to Campbell. Dumps it low to Kincaid. Turnaround jumper in the paint. Rolling around the rim, no good. Pulled down on the right block by the little man, Jordan Caceres, who had just checked in. His first rebound. To Clay in the front court. 40 seconds left in the half. Sends it down left corner, Caceres, jab step, bounce it low to Turbiantes, left block, double team, bounce it off his knee, up top to Pena for 3, a fadeaway off the back of the rim. He flopped to the floor, no call, rebound on the left block, was pulled down by Watkins, his 4th. Sends it across the timeline to Hammond, right wing. Unloads to the right side to Campbell. Caceres lost his balance and ran right into the back of Campbell and gets the foul. Nice sportsmanship by Campbell, reached down and helped Caceres up. So Caceres has got his first personal, but that is the 15th foul on Artesia now in the double bonus with just 21 seconds left in the half.
So they're going to take advantage of it as much as possible. Hobbs unable to get into the bonus on this quarter anyway. So far 0-2 on the line is the Bulldogs, and so far this guy is 0-1. See if he can improve his odds and get back into it with a couple of shots.
He's got 4 points here. First shot's up, and it's good. Swish for Campbell. They got him listed at 6'2". It doesn't seem like he's that tall out there, but we're kind of sitting right close to the court, kind of not being able to get the depth perception we need. Got both free throws, though. He's down with those throws, and he's got 6. 28-26 Artesia, 15 seconds remaining. Hobbs probably going with that last shot as Pena is telling everybody to back down low. Down to 10. Sailing well outside the perimeter now on near the half-court line. Clock down to 5. Double screen up top. Drives the right side of the lane. Lost the ball in the paint. They're going to say a pull. Foul call from behind. Charlie Campbell stepping over in the paint.
And he's grabbing his ankle, too, his right ankle. So that is not a good sign for Hobbs with this with 1.1 left in the quarter.
Yeah, Pena ran into the cover there on the basket underneath the hoop there. The big pad. They have a trainer from Artesia underneath there. Looked like he's taking off his right shoe. A lot of times they don't want you to take off your shoe with the ankle injury because that you want to keep the swelling kind of staying inside and at that point until they can see what's going on. But he's sitting underneath the basket. Coaching staff hasn't come out there yet. Kind of surprised. They're finally beckoning him out. It is his right foot. And he's jumping up, hopping up. They'll probably have to get him out for a couple plays, and he's limping off the court. That's Abraham Pena. Good round of applause from the Artesia fans. Pena going to exit for a few minutes with 9 points, tied up with David right now in point production. Hopefully he can get that taken care of. And
he's going back.
Now what? I can't believe that. When you take that much time and leave the game for a second like that, he was down underneath the basket for at least 30, 40 seconds. There is no way, I mean, not attacking him, but there is no way he should be on the court right now. He should be off the court.
I think that's the reason why the referees were talking about that, just to make sure that everything was copacetic. There really was no timeout. However, you're right, he was down there for a while.
Look at Coach Mondergan and the coaching staff. He says, how long does he get to stay down on the court? And now we're going to have him in the game still. But no discredit to Pena. He's putting his butt on the line, or should I say ankle. Inbound to Turbiantes. He got sideswiped trying to get the backdoor cut on the inbound underneath the hoop. Knocked away from the ball. They don't call on that one, but it will be Hobbs basketball knocked out. Point two can only be actually, they should be stopping the half. It's under point three. You can't have a shot on this. The alley-oop underneath the hoop, a tip at the buzzer. Are they going to count it or not? Pena went up big. They should not have even played that. Now the refs are going to get together. They got Coach Ross on the court, Coach Reeves. He tipped it. You can't have it. I don't think you can even have a tip underneath point three. The officials, I do not know if they've actually called it off or not. Ross and Reeves are out on the court right now, talking to the coaches in the mid-stripe. I knew when they set that play up that was going to cause some big mess out there, and it has. Artesia's left the court. No coaches even on here. It doesn't look like they're going to count this, Ron.
And it looked lovely, too, but, yeah, you're right. Unfortunately, time-wise, just did not have enough time to be able to set it up. Otherwise, it looked perfect. Maybe that's something they can work on for another time. But for the moment, down by 2, 28-26. Artesia leading at the bull pit right here in Artesia on Cool 95.7, of course, as well as all the other internet sanctions.
Welcome back to halftime here at the Bulldog Pit in Artesia. Ty friend Ron Gunner, Evie Stuber back at the station. Artesia leading 28-26. Controversial into the game, into the quarter there, as they did it at alley-oop from the baseline. Hobbs trying to throw it up towards the hoop. Payne appeared to be trying to tip it over the rim. Usually under 0.3 seconds. It was at 0.2 at that point that you really can't get a handle on the ball and be able to push it to the rack. But I was just looking at a photo Jason Farmer had from the Hobbs News Sun. It looks like it apparently did go over the rim before the buzzer. The question is the handle and how long did the timer get the buzzer started, or the timer started quick enough to be a legitimate play. So anyway, it didn't count. Officials were pretty quick about that, so it will be a 2-point deficit. Let's look at the numbers here in the first half. First for Artesia. Don't have anybody in double digits yet, but getting close. Diego Wesson, the 6'3" senior, at 9 points so far. He's also 0 for 1 on the line, has a tray and 3 rebounds. A couple of guys with 6. Charlie Campbell, he's got 2 for 3 free throw shooting, a couple boards. Clay Kincaid, one of their post players, with 6 points and 3 rebounds. Nia Estrada hit a tray for 3, and Jaron Watkins a bucket for 2. Estrada with 2 rebounds, and Jaron Watkins has 4 to lead the team. So they've had a total of 6 scores in the first half. Their biggest lead was 6. Had 9 turnovers, which is 5 more than the Hobbs Eagles had. They did out-rebound the Eagles 15-11 based on Watkins' 4, 3 for Wesson, and a couple apiece for Campbell and Estrada. Also, Kincaid had 3 in the board category. So that's your numbers for, actually, though, free throws, I should mention, too. Not very many shot, but 2 for 4, 50% for the Bulldogs. For your Hobbs Eagles, kind of in the same boat. Nobody yet in double digits, but 2 getting 9, so getting close. Abraham Payne has 9. He had a 3-pointer in the second quarter, but went down with the ankle issue there underneath the basket. Stayed out for quite a long time on the floor there, and they let him stay in the game, which is kind of goes against regular protocol. Once you're down and they have to stop action for that long and then leave the court and then come back on immediately, they usually don't allow that, but for some reason they did, and no discredit to him. He was putting his butt on the line and getting out there. Malachi David also has 9. He's perfect on the charity stripe at 4 for 4 and had a tray. And boy, Ron, one thing about Malachi David, he is not afraid to shoot the tray as a big man.
No, he is not. I've seen him do it, especially in practice. Also do it in live games, of course. He's not always accurate, but when he is, it is a great thing to see, especially when he gets under the basket after that rebound and be able to put it back in.
Good thing about him is he has good shooting touch. He follows through, gets himself squared up to the basket. A lot of times he's been wide open on the perimeter, too. That's when he takes his shots. He doesn't force them, uses his height and gets off the ground. Braylon Vega with 4 points. Kind of a quiet game for him so far. 0 for 2 on the line. Also, Jairus Turbiatos the bucket for 2, 3 rebounds. And one other guy scoring, Josiah Clay, coming off the bench for 2 as well. Hobbs with 5 scores. 4 for 6 from the line, 66% at this point. They've had 4 turnovers, which is 5 less than Artesia, but again, have been out-rebounded by 4, 15-11. And leading in the rebounds, Malachi David with 3, along with Turbiatis, and Henderson second with 2. So the Hobbs Eagles got a little battle here at the Bulldog Pit, 28-26, trailing Artesia by 2. We'll take a 90-second break and come back here with more Hobbs Eagle basketball live on the radio at Cool 95.7 and in location on the internet, HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. We're back live at the Bulldog Pit in Artesia. Ty Friend, Ron Gunner, and Evie Stuber back at the station. Hobbs trailing by 2, getting ready for the third quarter. Artesia been standing around for a couple of minutes here. Hobbs still ain't staying in the huddle, using up the full time on the half-time clock here. Again, don't forget, next Tuesday, Hobbs Eagles will be on the road at Roswell to open up district against the Coyotes, a team that beat this Artesia team just a couple of days ago on Tuesday. Final on that one was 52-42. In that game, Kincaid, that tall, lanky post player for Artesia, had 11. Nobody else in double figures in that contest. Very close game. I had a chance to watch that live. Roswell was leading by 3 at the half, and to finish up winning by 10. Artesia basketball to start the second half. Pass up top, 3 on the way, and off the back of the rim. Bounce around a couple of times for Diego Wesson. Coming off, and then there's some crash on the boards. It looks like a foul already on Artesia as somebody pushed it underneath the hoop there. To get the foul call going against Clay Kincaid, his first team foul here in the third. Hobbs basketball. Payne in the front court. Over to David on the left wing. Hobbs down by 2. Returns to Pena, back near the timeline. Sends it back to David, left side. Again to Pena. Over to Vega, right corner. Posting up Parker Henderson, right block. Bouncing toward the block, and then throws up a shot rejected. Gets his own rebound. Reverse slam with the left hand. Can't get it to drop, and a second time going up. 3 rebounds there for the big man, and finally getting it to drop is Henderson. And now 11, or make that 2 points for him.
Love the determination on that shot, or those shots.
28-28 your score. Low scoring affair, 56 on the board total. They get it into Wesson with a fadeaway, rejected by Henderson. Wesson will try to save him, but throws it off the back of Vega here on the left sideline. Vega had to turn and get his balance with his butt towards Wesson. And he got it thrown right in his thick of his back there.
Yeah, Wesson was way in the air. That's the reason why he was able to do that. Already halfway out of bounds.
Inbound to David Hammond at the timeline. Bounce it over to the right wing to Estrada in front of the Artesia bench. Up top to Kincaid, who blocked Henderson's shot earlier. Gets it behind him on a 3 for Watkins off the back of the rim, and Henderson goes high in the air down the lane to pull the rebound. Henderson now with 6 boards. Goes back door. There's Turbiatis with an alley-oop. Actually threw to Pena first, then to Turbiatis on the right side to left. Turbiatis puts down his 4th point of the game. 30-28 Eagles. Quickly to the other end. Weston gets the ball on the right base. Underneath 2 defenders, David and Henderson. Gets up underneath both of them, rejected by David. Gets his own rebound, does Weston. Kicks out right corner for Kincaid off the back of the rim. Turbiatis flying for it down the paint. Lost it off his fingertips, out of bounds. But he was fighting hard. Seen that from him and Henderson, getting really tough in the paint now.
Yeah, had the right angle, just could not get the handle on the ball.
Inbound coming back deep on the near left sideline, pulled down by Hammond. David will give him a big cushion at the top of the arc. Screen coming from Kincaid, and gives the ball over to right wing to Watkins. Backing it out, right side, behind his back on the dribble. To the right corner to Wesson. Pivots, Turbiatis going to slide with him up top as he unloads the ball to the timeline to Hammond. Spin move from right, now the top of the arc, backs it out. 5-second count is on, and there it is, the 5-second count called against David Hammond off the defensive Vega near the scores table on the far right sideline. That'll be another turnover, number 10 now for Artesia. Again, they're more than doubling Hobbs in those categories there, 10-4 on turnovers. Payne in the front court, finds Vega right wing. Clock to 5:45 left, third quarter. Eagles up by 2. Up top to David. To Payne on the right side. Gets a screen from David, drives baseline right to the rack and score. You don't get him a first step. Right to the glass and puts it through for 2. Payne now leads the Eagles with 11. 32-28. Now you can tell that ankle's still hurting him. He kind of limped as he do that one. Weston comes down the lane. Handoff on the left block. Rejected on the shot for Watkins. And pulled down for the big man Henderson. He's got 7 boards. Across the half court to Malachi David. Hands off to Pena left side. Coach Ross wants a play to be set up as he backs out. Gives the ball over to left wing to Vega. To Parker Henderson, top of the circle. Coming back to get it is Pena on the left wing. Screen from Henderson. Pena drives the lane. Good head fake. Back to Henderson, left wing for 3. Air ball, and it goes out of bounds. You know that's going to get the Artesia student section lit up, and they're going to get loud on the air ball call now.
Exactly, and they are not going to be merciful about that one either, as this is a very tight game. 4 points. Hobbs is in the lead with 4:59 in the third.
Artesia goes to their bench. They brought out Wesson. He's their top scorer with 9 points, kind of catching a breath now, working pretty hard out there.
Had to get a Bulldog over there to inbound it.
Eagles will keep their roster the way it is with Turbiatis, Vega, Pena, Henderson, and David. Inbound to the backcourt to Hammond. Throws it across right side to Watkins. Gets picked up by Vega. Back to the timeline to Hammond. So we got a whistle underneath the hoop. They're going to say Parker Henderson was pushing off. He's been having a battle with that big kid for Artesia, Enrique Armendariz. He's got about 7-inch differential there in terms of size, height size there for Henderson, but the girth and the power you got to Enrique Armendariz wins that category. The inbound of the half court, stepping in the backcourt though is Campbell. He did have possession before he stepped backwards. The official right on the line, and the backcourt violation. That's the 11th turnover for Artesia. 4:45 left, third quarter. Eagles up by 4, 32-28. Inbound of the backcourt to Pena. Artesia back into the half-court defense now, top of the perimeter. To Vega on the right side, dangerous throw almost stolen. Vega's going to fire three, gets shoved to the floor, no call. Air ball, pulled down by Armendariz. Throws it ahead to a breaking Campbell down the lane, right side layup, high off the glass and scores. Actually, that was David Hammond, his fourth point. 32-30, Eagles by 2. Quickly in the front court, Pena top of the circle. Backs down to the timeline, comes around the right circle. On the near sideline, screen from Henderson to the free throw line. Pop a shot, gets it blocked. Actually, his elbow got knocked. Turbiatis comes underneath the hoop to get the rebound. They call a foul. Not on the shot from Pena. Wait a sec, was that a late call for Pena? They showed 2 fingers for 2 shots, but that was a very late whistle. Pena had shot the ball. We're waiting for a rebound, and then all of a sudden a whistle underneath the hoop. Thought that maybe Turbiatis got fouled on the boards. They're going to say it was on the shot for Pena. So Hobbs will take it there. Foul on Hammond, his second team foul, and Pena's free throws a swish.
Yeah, very late call. However, it did go for Hobbs, so can't complain too much about it.
Eagles are 5 of 7 from the charity stripe. Pena now with 12 points. His second shot is up and good. Pena came into the game shooting 70%. Or correction, yeah, 70% on the season. So another bucket or point for him. He's got 13. Pass comes across the timeline. The big man Armendariz top of the circle. Hands it off behind to Hammond. Over to left corner for an 18-footer off the back of the rim for Watkins. But tipped back up and in over the front of the iron. Put down by Enrique Armendariz. His first bucket, 32-34. Hobbs still up by 2. In the front court comes Pena on the far left sideline. Slows it down a little bit, waiting for Henderson to give him a screen. Drives the right side of the paint. Flicks it out right corner to David. Fires a 3 off the side of the rim. No good. Rebound on the baseline. Pulled down by Hammond. And it looks like that hurt Pena again on his left leg. Shot from the right 3 from Campbell after the pass. Off the rim, right side. And a battle for the boards. And now it looks like possibly maybe a hamstring pull there for Pena. He is limping badly. And Coach Ross noticed that. Going to get him off the court. He's been helped off by Turbiatis. That doesn't look like the foot that time. Boy, Pena has some words for the official. He was kind of flopping on the floor before he left the game. Got bumped a little bit. It looks like his making his left thigh that he's trying to massage right now on the bench. Eagles up by 2 still, 34-32. Nobody pulling away in this game, Ron.
No, they're not. So far it's been evenly matched, and Hobbs needs to pull ahead.
Half-court inbound to Vega, drives to the free throw line, fires a shot right over the big kid there, Clay Kincaid at 6'7", and Vega puts it through the hole. He's got 6. 36-32 Eagles, 3:15 remaining in the third. Stop and go now for Hammond in the front court. Turbiatis will step out on D. Screen right wing by Kincaid. To the right side goes Hammond on the dribble. Back to the Artesia bench, lost the ball. Turbiatis swipes it away from him for turnover number 12. Going ahead to a breaking Soria, tries to save it at the other end, a long pass. As they try to get up to Clay on the right side of the perimeter, and he tried to go back door to Soria, but sails it over his head. That's the Eagles' turnover, number 5. First one of the second half, though. They've been keeping it clean offensively. Sub back on the court, Diego Weston, as he comes back to the backcourt to get the ball. Definitely billed as a football player, but he's got a lot of agility out there. One of their top scorers. On the right wing, gets a screen from Kincaid. Drives corner, pass deflected out to Watkins on the right wing, kicks it up top to Estrada. Lefty dribble, uses it up, and coming back to get it top of the arc is Wesson. Backs it out to the timeline against Vega. Faces him up, comes right, and flicks it over to right side to Watkins. Drives the lane, runner shot, double clutch, rejected by Henderson. He's going to pull down the ball off the rebound and gets hammered after that. That's his 8th board. He's going to take a sprint to the other end. They call the foul on Artesia's Watkins, his second. 3rd team foul on the Bulldogs.
2 away from bonus for Hobbs.
2:27 remaining in the third. Hobbs by 4. Eagles looking at their 8th win of the season. They can pull this one off here. Artesia, one of the top teams in the 4A. Stop and go dribble for Soria coming across the timeline. To the left wing in front of the Hobbs bench. Back deep to Vega at the time strike. He'll hold the ball for a second, come right. Continues his dribble down the corner right side. Back up top to Soria. To the left elbow. Back door to Turbiatis, going hard to the rack with the left hand and puts it through. Big jump step to go through that lane that time for Turbiatis. He's got a couple of buckets here in the third and 6 overall. 38-32 and matching their biggest lead at 6, or that will be the biggest lead at 6. Artesia lost the ball momentarily, brought down by Wesson at the time strike. Turbiatis will step out on him. Now gives him a little bit more of a gap. Unloads to the top of the arc to Estrada. Knocked out of his hands by Clay, but recovered by Estrada. Gives it right off to Kincaid, top of the circle. Big jab step against Turbiatis. Over the left wing to Campbell, fakes a 3. Comes down the lane on the reverse layup as he sliced through traffic, lays it off the left side, score. Campbell now with 8. Quickly to the other end. Eagles by 4, 38-34. Vega from the right corner, 3! Fade away, count it with the hand in the face. Vega has 9, his first tray of the ball game. He's the leader in trays this season for the Eagles. Hobbs by 7, their biggest lead now in the contest. 1:10 remaining in the third. As the dribble comes across the timeline, Campbell lost it, kicked off the leg of Clay out of bounds near the scores table at half court. Still will be Artesia basketball. Sub coming in for the Bulldogs, Matthew Afliger. And for your Hobbs Eagles, Javen Hernandez in for Turbiatis.
Yeah, Clay was playing some real good defense, just could not quite get the handle on it before it went out of bounds.
Inbounding at half court will be Wesson on that far right sideline. Back to the backcourt to Hafliger. Returns to Wesson in the front court against Vega. Clock to 1 minute. Left third. Pass to Hafliger on the left wing. Gets it back up top. Estrada over the left elbow with the pivot now for Kincaid. Back to Wesson on the right wing. Stop and go. Goes to the rack right side. They're going to say there was a hold as he tried to get back to the lane on the dribble. They call the foul against the Hobbs Eagles on that one. That will be their first team foul here in the third quarter as they charge that one to Javen Hernandez, his first. Artesia basketball on the right baseline underneath their hoop, trailing by 7. Get it in on a shot, 15-footer right of the baseline by Estrada off the back of the rim. Rebound on the left block with a lean to the hoop. Campbell misses, but tipped back up and in over his top by Halfiger for his first bucket. Also Halfiger's first rebound. 41-36, Hobbs by 5. 35 seconds left, third quarter. Hernandez in the front court on the left wing. Dribbling through his legs, finds Henderson, left elbow. He's going to spot a jumper and swishes it. Waited for his defender to back up a half a step. Kincaid, 4 inches lower than him, and nails the big J. Henderson with 4, all coming into the third quarter. Down to 15 left in the third. 43-36 Eagles. Stop and go on the far right sideline. Campbell lost it for the Artesia bench, picks it up in the half court. Dribbles right, hands it off on the wing to Wesson. Drives the right baseline to the rack. Behind the back pass to the corner right. Campbell for 3 and puts it through. Right before the buzzer. 11 for Campbell, his first tray of the ball game. And we got a close one again at the end of 3. Hobbs 43, Artesia 39. We're back in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. For fourth quarter action here in Artesia, your Hobbs Eagles lead by 4, 43-39 to start the finale quarter. Leading scores for Artesia, Campbell with 11, 9 for Wesson, and 6 for Kincaid. For your Hobbs Eagles in double digits, Abraham Payne with 13. He's had 1 tray, 2 for 2 free throw shooting. 9 for Braylon Vega. He has a tray. And Malachi David with 9. He has a tray and perfect 4 for 4 from the charity stripe. Eagles been out rebounded 20-17, but a close one there. They only have 5 turnovers, though, 12 for Artesia. Starting the fourth, Hobbs ball up by 4. Soria has the ball on the right wing, scoop it over to Hernandez right side. Brings it up top of the circle with a handoff to Clay. Dribbles through his legs to the right side. Crossover move to the middle of the paint. Back door to Henderson, but threw his hands out of bounds. He wasn't ready for it, kind of ducked a little bit. Ball sails out on the left baseline for the 6th Eagle turnover.
And that's unfortunate, too. Hobbs looked like they were going to get a little momentum on that possession.
Yeah, you kind of want to get a gap here. Only a 4-point lead. Been as high as 6 for the Eagles, or 7, I should say, back in the third. Slowing it up now as he comes across the timeline. Hammond taking on Clay on the right wing in front of the Artesia bench. Crossover move. Pops it to the left elbow. Shot on the way for Estrada. No, he actually threw it down low. Kind of an alley-oop look there for Kincaid. Lays over the left side of the rim for 8 total now. 43-41, a 2-point ball game. Soria wants a clear out on the left side. Nobody's going to buy it for him on that one. Now finally going to get Clay to go from left to right. He kind of revolves around up top of the circle to get the pass. As he came through the lane. Throws an errant throw to the left side, expecting Vega to be there, but threw it quickly, and Vega had not even got halfway back on his pattern to that far left sideline. It's one of those football throws where you just kind of loft it down there, and nobody's there except the Hobbs Eagle bench to scoop it up on the turnover. That's number 7. So Eagles with 2 in a row here, giving the ball back to Artesia.
I know, not starting off this fourth quarter in the style that the Eagles wanted to.
David Hammond out to stop and go in the front court, taking on Turbiatis. On the right wing for the Bulldogs, in front of the Artesia bench. Up top to Wesson. Got it stripped behind by Turbiatis, turnover number 13. He goes back to the left side of the rim, lay it up and good, and a block foul on Artesia. Steal and layup for the big man Turbiatis. He's got 8 points, 14 Artesia turnovers, and a chance for a Turbiatis 3-point play.
And it looks like it could be another chance to increase the lead for Hobbs and the Eagles. You know, when this series goes back to 1949, they've only lost 4 times to the Bulldogs. Never at home, always here at the pit.
Oh, the free throw in and out for Turbiatis, and a rebound pulled down by Estrada. So Turbiatis will stick at 8 points. Throw the ball down the lane at the other end to Watkins. Watkins turns and fires a semi-hook there with his right hand. He was on the left block and kind of just threw it sidearm. Comes off the front of the rim. He'll get 2 free throws out of this one. Clock will stop at 6:30 left, fourth quarter, and Hobbs by 4. But pinning free throws here from Jaron Watkins. They're going to call that on Vega, his second. That will be the first team foul. Both teams with 1 apiece.
Foul's not a problem or not an issue at this point during the game.
Watkins misses it off the rim, no good. They were 2 of 4 at the half break, 50%.
Yeah, not everybody's happy about that one either.
Now 2 of 5 for 40%. Dropping off as we speak. Second shot hard off the back of the rim again. Pulled down by Henderson. That's his 9th rebound. Gives it off to Soria at the time stripe. Comes across with 6:20 remaining. Hobbs by 4 against Artesia. Slings it over to the right side to Vega. Posting up. Henderson. Fadeaway hook on the right block, or baseline, I should say. And it rolls around the rim and good. Henderson gets the drop on that one. He's got 6 points. 47-41, Eagles by 6. To the other end to Weston on the right base. Up top, to Estrada. Drives left corner, throws up a 15-footer fadeaway off the back of the rim. Pulled down, and a rebound by Weston. Comes in the lane, scoops over the front of the rim, gets knocked around. They're going to call the foul. I think Henderson threw a hip at him that time. So Weston's going to get a chance to shoot some free throws here.
Well, Henderson doesn't have to do a whole lot. He's a big guy. He can just move a little bit, and it looks like he's thrown a hip.
Oh, boy, they called that a non-shooting foul. Looked like he was in shooting position, even though he didn't leave the floor. Inbound to the right elbow, fadeaway for Watkins off the back of the rim, and Henderson with another rebound. He's got 10. Now getting 4 more points, he's got himself a double-double. Coming across the timeline after the pass is Vega, slowing it down a bit with 5:40 left fourth. Eagles by 6. Comes left wing, back deep to Soria at the timeline. He wants to see his wings rotate. They will follow his command. Bounce pass over to Caceres on the left wing. Return back deep to Soria at the timeline. One hands over to Vega on the right side. 5:20 left of the game. To Soria, right corner, give and go. 3 on the way and good, right through the threads. Big man from the outside. Lyric Soria, the freshman guard. He's got his first bucket of the game for 3. 50-41. Ball comes to the timeline, knocked around a little bit. Watkins will pick it up across the stripe. Gives it up top to Wesson. throws it and gets it back, top of the circle. A runner shot for the free throw line, lost the ball at the bottom of his hand there, and rebound coming off the rim, coming quickly is Vega for his first board. He'll take it all the way to the rack down the right side of the paint, off the glass, and scores. Vega now in double digits with 11. Big run for the Eagles, a double-digit lead, first time tonight, up by 11 over Artesia, Ron.
Exactly, and that's exactly where Hobbs wanted to be at this point. They were struggling at the beginning of this fourth quarter, but now they've gotten their traction back on, and it looks like they're going to be hitting a stride as they continue getting into this deeper into this fourth quarter.
We'll take a quick break here, half a minute on timeout. 52-41, your Eagles by 11 over Artesia. Back in half a minute on the Hobbs Eagle Network. .454 left, fourth quarter here in Artesia. They were the 4A football champs this year. Playing basketball against the Hobbs Eagles tonight, but Hobbs getting the upper hand by 11, 52-41. Ty friend Ron Gunner with you tonight here. Next week, starting district on the road in Roswell Tuesday night. We'll have that on the coverage at 6:45 with the pregame. In the front court, driving across Hammond. Slings it down to the right corner, backing into his defenders, Estrada. Keeps it right side to Hammond, to the right wing to Campbell. And we got to travel. Campbell tried to come up with a pass up top, shuffled his feet first, and picks up the 15th turnover for Artesia. That's probably been their unraveling. I mean, it's still been a close game, but now it's back to double digits for the Hobbs. But 15 versus 7 turnovers, and Artesia's not helping themselves.
Exactly. Artesia losing the ball, and Hobbs just keeping it clean.
An unforced error on that last possession. Hobbs basketball in the front court, Caceres. Ooh, dangerous throw back to the timeline. Almost got picked off there. Getting the passing lane was Estrada. To left corner to Soria, dribbling through his legs. Sends it back deep to Vega. Running clock here for the Eagles. Cross court right to Caceres. Still outside the perimeter. Crossover with his left hand. Bounce into Turbiatis, right elbow. Gets stripped. Falls to the floor. Rolls out to the near sideline, but tracked down by Soria. Good job of rushing out there to make sure it didn't get out of bounds. Dribbles back to the timeline. Sails the pass over to left wing to Vega. Down the lane to Caceres in the left corner. Back up top to Soria. Pivoting, looking for help. Guarded by Hammond. Back to Caceres on the left wing. To Turbiatis to the free throw line. Glides down the lane. Reverse layup behind his head. Put it through the rack on the left side and gets fouled. Count it for Turbiatis. He's got 10 now. Double digits for him. And a chance for that three-point play. That'll be Artesia's second team foul as they whack it on. Let's see who they're going to call that on. That's going to be against Kincaid, his second.
Yeah, Turbiatis has been great on the rebounds this season, but love to see him do a little bit more in the scoring position. Unfortunately, that one missed.
I thought wait a second. Oh, wait a second here.
Yeah.
Did you see what just happened?
Yeah.
He missed it off the free throw, caught the ball, and just stood there. Everybody forgot it was a one-shot foul. They counted the basket. I was going, what's going on? And all of a sudden, I look over here. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Just about, yeah. And he thought, you know what? Nobody's touched me. Let's go for it, and let's see if we can drive the ball. Unfortunately, that did not work out as planned.
It was like a delayed yo-yo almost. You just waited a second, and all of a sudden he's sprinting out of the free throw line. At the other end, though, Weston is able to catapult it on the right baseline through the rack. Point-blank range for him, and Weston puts it through. He's got 11, double digits for him now. We're down to an 11-point game again, 54-43. So 13 has been the big number of the leads here in this fourth quarter for Hobbs. Ball deflected out of bounds and a long pass down to the baseline left side. It'll go out and it'll be Hobbs basketball off an Artesia hand. They're going to sub in too, Jaron Watkins. And maybe a timeout here. Looks like Coach Mondragon might have called it here with 3:16 remaining. 54-43, an 11-point game. And, of course, Artesia playing football this year, very devastating to the state of New Mexico. Very well-known football program, and
yes.
Been in the playoffs the last couple years for basketball too. Lost in the quarters last year to 1 point to Valley, so that was a tough contest for them, getting a chance to go up to Albuquerque, but still That 6-0 record in district, so no joke when it comes to the 4A. Of course, earlier tonight we had that big 38-point victory for the Hobbs Lady Eagles, Ron, and kind of a close game at the beginning, just about a 6-point differential. Hobbs stayed to 6-point lead in the halftime score, extended it to 28 at the end of the third, and then just coasted a 38-point win. Lots of people getting involved in the scoring in that victory for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Brent Hargrove with 21, Cunningham 14, Armitage 11, David had 10, so 5 players. Who else did I forget here? No, that was it. Four in double digits, but a nice win for the Lady Eagles to go to 17-3. They will host Roswell on Tuesday to get their district rolling. And
it's once they start pressing the acceleration, nobody can keep up with them, or very few can keep up with the Hobbs Lady Eagles.
That was game one of our doubleheader here at the Bulldog Pit in Artesia. Hobbs up by 11 in the boys' action now. Comes into Turbiatis on the left wing, back deep to Soria. To Anderson on the left block, kick out to Turbiatis, wide open left corner for 3. Bounces out the front of the rim, pulled down on the right block on the rebound. In the hands of Watkins, his 5th board. Into the front court, handoff on the right side to Hammond. Dribbles around in circles, backs it out near the Artesia bench, now into the timeline zone. Crossover move to the right side, one hands it to the wing to Watkins. Over to the right side again to Hammond, behind him at the Artesia bench. Down the right baseline to Kincaid. Takes a dribble back to the corner. Actually, correction, that is Campbell. And bounces to the timeline to Hammond on the right side. Running a lot of clock, though, with a double-digit deficit. Gets a screen, comes around the right, and hands it to Campbell. Top of the arc off the dribble, through his legs. Bounce past the left block to Kincaid. Turnaround jumper off the back of the rim. Turbiatis in the rebound. Make it Caceres on the left block. That's his 2nd rebound. Underhands into the timeline to Vega. Across to Soria on the left side. Double team against him. Spin move. In front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. Cross court right to Caceres. Returns to Soria on the yo-yo passing game left. To Vega free throw line. Backdoor to Henderson, but takes a big step before going up with it. I'm going to say he shuffled. So a turnover on the travel there for Parker Henderson. That'll be turnover number 8 for the Eagles, but still 7 turnovers less than Artesia.
Yeah, looking to help Henderson to get that double-double. Wasn't quite able to get that shot off. Still has 2 minutes to work on it.
2:06 to be exact. 54-43, Hobbs by 11. Across the timeline is Wesson. Comes around the right circle after he gets a screen from Kincaid. Continues to the corner right. Keeps it same side to Campbell. Spin move at the free throw line. Fade away from the right elbow off the back of the rim. Rebound by Caceres at the free throw line. His 2nd rebound in a row. He's got 3 overall. Now in the front court. Bounce pass to Soria, left corner. Double team on him. Returns to Caceres, left wing. In front of the Hobbs bench. Gets tripped. Slides on the floor on his butt. And smartly called a timeout does Coach Reeves, saving a turnover. Caceres got tripped, falling forward. They didn't call the travel because the ball came out of his hand somewhat as he slid across the floor. Got a little bit of control of it and tipped it back, and that's when we had the timeout call. So Hobbs will talk about it in the huddle. We'll keep it right here. Hobbs leading 54-43. And Ron, the key to get the district started going here, this Roswell team that they're playing on Tuesday beat Artesia 52-42. Only 1 Artesia kid scored in double figures, and tonight, that's about close to what's happening here. Only 2 in double figures. They have 11. The top scorer in that game for Artesia had 11 too. So how do you feel about Roswell at the start of the list? I mean, their record isn't stellar, but they're not any doghouse team either.
Right. I mean, no, they're not an easy victory, that's for certain. However, if you do play them, up front and just kind of force the issue, get the tempo going faster than they're used to, I think you can beat them pretty easily.
1:35 left here in the 4th. Hobbs gets the inbound after the timeout to the backcourt to Caceres. He'll bring it across against the double team. Bounce to Vega right wing. Cross court left to Soria. Here comes a 3 attempt off the back of the rim left side. Ball loose in the paint. Henderson tried to battle for it. Going on top of Clay Kincaid on the left block. Big men are falling all over the place here. I'm not sure what the call is. Thought it might have been a jump ball. They called a jump? No, a foul call there. That Artesia, I think they got Artesia on that, did they or not? They put a foul up on the board for Artesia, but
took it right off.
Artesia looks like they're getting the ball. Oh, they're calling on Soria. Wow.
All right.
They put the foul up on the board. I think they forgot to come tell the table that. So that's going to be against Soria. His 2nd personal, 3rd team foul.
Yep.
Coming across the timeline is Hammond. Gives it off left wing to Wesson. Crossover down the lane. Goes up strong with the reverse slam. Gets hit in the head Good head fake there, and that got Henderson to come over the top of it. Count the basket on the reverse left to right of the rim. And a chance for a three-point play for Wesson. Wesson now has 13 points. He is the leading scorer for Artesia as Henderson picks up his third personal, 14 foul, one away from the double bonus, but still, Ron, 11-point lead.
Yeah, but that was a very good basketball move right there for Artesia. So, there's a reason why they are such a good team. They just are struggling a little bit right now with Hobbs, and that's just simply because Hobbs can outplay them when they want to.
Artesia was struggling a little bit here in the second half with free throws. Now at 2 of 6, but a free throw switch there for Wesson. Now 3 of 7 as a team. He's got 14 now to lead Artesia. 46 for Artesia, 54 for your Eagles. Up by 8. Caceres has it against a double team in the backcourt. Bounce pass to Turbiantes near side right. Bad pass up the sideline, taken away in stride by Kincaid. Eagles have their night turnover. Pass up top to Estrada. Behind him to Hammond. NBA 3 in front of Henderson off the front of the rim, no good. Artesia getting a grasp of it on the left baseline. They're going to say out on Caceres. Looked like he might have punched it from behind out of the hands of Watkins. But Artesia will have it left of the rim underneath their hoop with 55 seconds remaining and down by 8. So they whittled that 13-point lead down to 8, single digits. Up top to Wesson for an open 3. Nobody guarding him. In and out, no good. Going up high is Henderson on the right block for the rebound and a push foul on Artesia. Henderson now has 11 rebounds. He just needs 4 points to get into double-double, but Coach Ross is going to get a sub here. He'll take a seat as Hernandez checks in for the Eagles. 49 seconds remaining. Eagles by 8. Inbound to Vega, gets stripped in the left corner. Campbell takes it away for the 10th turnover. Returns on the left wing to Estrada. Hand off behind to Campbell. They're not running very quickly, down by 8. Drives to the right free throw line. Uses up his dribble, pivots, kick up top. NBA 3 for Estrada, hard off the front of the rim, high in the air. Body's flopping on the floor, it's still loose, squirting out of everybody's hands. Picked up on the right elbow by Estrada, shot from one hand and puts it through. Estrada with 5 points, and a quick timeout for Coach Mondragon and the Bulldogs. We'll keep it here, 54-48. 6-point lead for the Eagles. I think a little late on the scoring here for Artesia. Still left of a gap, but Hobbs has got to take care of the basketball. You know they're going to get full court pressure here.
Exactly. You know they are because, there's still enough time. 2 possessions is all really, maybe 3 at the most, but Artesia still kind of in it, barely, simply because of mathematics. However, Hobbs can take that away simply just by either forcing them to foul him or trying to get it up the court and beyond to be able to get this working. And there is a conference going on right now under the basket.
Well, I was gonna mention that last turnover Hobbs had. They threw the ball into Vega. He kind of turned his head the other way, waiting for the trap. Forgot there was a man behind him and just ripped the ball out of his hands, and then went down to the hoop with it. You just got to make sure you're watching all directions here, not just what trap is coming at you, but it's guys behind you trying to pick you from behind. Hobbs will have it on the back baseline here in the backcourt. They lead by 6 with 24 seconds. Caceres gets to run the baseline after a made bucket for Artesia. Bounce it in left corner. It's loose, and Sori had to dive on the hardwood on the baseline. They're going to say he was pushed. So that'll be a foul on Artesia. They call that against Nia Estrada. That's his second personal, 3rd team foul.
Both one away from bonus, so that could be a
14 foul
situation.
Inbound to David Hernandez. Catches the ball on the inbound, and then he travels. He caught it in stride coming back to the baseline to help out on that far sideline, and he just lost his footing. So Hobbs getting their 11th turnover, kind of unraveling here late against the full court pressure. Artesia will have it in the front of their bench, actually back to the 28-foot line there on the right sideline near the scores table. Inbounding is Watkins in the backcourt, wide open Hammond into the front side now. Gives it off left wing to Campbell, dribbles up top, throws up a 3 out the front of the rim, no good. Pulled down by Vega. He gets bear hugged immediately at the free throw line, and a foul on Campbell to stop the clock. So Vega picking up a very big rebound, his second. Clock stop at 12.9. Definitely one free throw would seal this ball game.
Exactly, and the one person, or at least one of the many people you want on the Hobbs Eagles to be on the line. Vega seems to be shooting pretty well so far on the charity stripe, so you want to see him get that first one, get the pressure off, and kind of just roll into the second one and move on to the next game, which of course will be the first district game with Roswell.
He is good on the season, 77%. Not great tonight, though. 0 for 2 from the charity stripe, has 11 points. He is second leading scorer behind Pena's 13. Although Turbiantes down in the double digits with 10, and David getting close, although he's not in the game. He's got 9. 12.9 seconds remaining. And it looks like we might have some water on the floor. That's why there's a delay here. Officials using his foot on a towel to wipe it up there on the left side of the perimeter. Yeah, Vega wait or make it. Oh, that's Pena on the line there.
Right.
Pena's going to get to shoot the free throw. So erase all those numbers I just mentioned. Pena is 2 for 2, has 13 points. Also knocked down a tray back in the second quarter. Trying to extend the lead from 6, hopefully to 8 with 2 free throws here. Double bonus. And 12.9 seconds remaining. Should be the 8th win of the season for the Eagles. First shot is up and off the front of the rim, no good. Hobbs was 6 of 9, now 6 of 10. 60%.
Yeah, that leaves the Bulldogs with a bit of a heartbeat going on for this game with 12.9.
Second shot for Pena is good. He's got 14 to lead the Eagles. 7-point lead. They're going to roll the ball up for Artesia near the timeline. 55-48. Picked up, brought across by Campbell. Goes down the rack. They call the body foul from behind. Count it. Pena tried to get him and swat it. And that's a layup for Campbell. He's got 13. And that brings it down to a 5-point game, 55-50 with 8.9 seconds. That took about 3 seconds or so off the clock, not very much, for some quick points and a chance for that 3-point play.
Exactly.
Coach Ross is going to take Pena out. I don't think he was happy about that foul that he just caused. And looks like Pena's not too excited either about being pulled out. Showing a little bit of attitude there, it looks like. Free throw's up and good for Campbell. He's got 14. 55-51, the high inbound to Caceres on the near right sideline, and he gets hit from behind. Lost the ball in the air a little bit, kind of thrown up for grabs. And a little hand check there by Campbell to stop the clock. 4 on him, 16 foul, double bonus still for the Eagles. Now Caceres will try to put this game in the book. Still a 2-possession ball game with a tray and another bucket to tie it, but it ain't going to happen at this point. Or actually, exactly. It's a 4-point game, I should say.
Right, could be 6, maybe 5, depending on what happens here. But yeah, it's both teams in bonus right now, so we may see a little bit more on the line depending on what's going on right now. Missed that first one big time. Hopefully he'll adjust it to get the second one to go in for 6.
Only his 5th free throw attempt of the season, so he's now 2 for 5, 40%. One more shot here to make it 6. And bouncing around the rim and missed both of them. Rebound pulled down at the free throw line by Nye Estrada. They throw it ahead, a 3 on the way, coming up from West on the right side. Hits off the back of the rim, and a battle for the boards that will run out the clock here in Artesia. Your Hobbs Eagles get their 8th win of the season, winning 55-51 over Artesia. So the Hobbs Eagles go victorious home as they will get to play Roswell, actually on the road, though, Tuesday night, to try and pick off the Coyotes of their first win of the season in the district. Again, 55-51, the final 4-point win for the Hobbs Eagles. We'll take a 3-minute break, come back with the Hobbs Eagle postgame show live on Cool 95.7 on the radio and on the web at hobbsamerica.com and YouTube. Back live here at the Bulldog Pit in Artesia. Your Hobbs Eagles victorious in a close one, though, 55-51. Hobbs by as many as 13 in the second half, pull out the 4-point win and get their 8th win of the season. Ty friend Ron Gutter and back at the station, Tiffany and Lena there. Again, we get the victory here, and, kind of too close for comfort there towards the end with the pressure that we saw from Artesia, getting a couple of turnovers late and getting back in the game to a single-digit situation. So, kind of biting the nails a little bit if you're a Hobbs Eagle fan, but get the win as a win. Eight wins for the Hobbs Eagles. Still under 500, though, but it's a clean slate now. I mean, you throw out the rest of the schedule and what you've already played, the APS tournament, the big tournament, Gene Messer in Texas, your Hobbs Holiday tournament, and now it's a clean slate. Now, your overall body of wins is important because when it gets down to the seeding, as many non-district wins you can add on to your resume there is good, but got to win the district championship, punch your ticket, show some people that you deserve to be at the tournament, and battle for that district title. So that's a big deal. Tough to start off on the road in Roswell. Sometimes teams like to get a chance to kind of get away from home and kind of work themselves out a little bit there. And, going and seeing a team that did beat this Artesia team on Tuesday by 10 points, 52-42. So the Roswell actually did a better job in terms of spread there in their win versus the Hobbs Eagles for tonight. But, again, I think that kind of a little bit of a collapse there towards the end made the score a little bit closer than what it should have been.
True, it did. And Hobbs, unfortunately we've been talking about this for the season, that they've had some lackluster fourth quarters. That one looked the same thing, although I will say this, that they did have a big lead, so it wasn't like they had to press or do anything strong. They just had to keep the lead, be able to get out of this with a victory. They did, however, it didn't look very good. Once again, sloppy is being used as far as, how they won. Now, again, they looked really good against Cleveland for 3 quarters. Cleveland just was a little too strong. That's the reason why they have a higher strength of schedule than we do. But, again, it's all about one game at a time. They did win this one. They needed to win this one. They've got about 3 more road games. They've also, of course, they do have 3 more road games. They also have 3 more away games. They need to win at least 5 out of 6 of those to be able to get a 500-win season and be able to look good in the playoffs. But, again, they also need to win all 6 of them to be able to get the district, and that will assure them a spot in the playoffs.
Well, let's look at the numbers of the squads. First of all, for Artesia, they have a couple of guys with 14. Charlie Campbell finishing with those numbers. He was 3 of 4 from the charity stripe, did hit 1 tray, and had 4 rebounds. Other 14 goes to Diego Wesson, the senior. He finished up with 1 tray as well and was 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. Wesson with 4 rebounds, just like Campbell was. So those two combined for 28 points. Getting close to double digits, Clay Kincaid, one of their post players, he had 8 and 3 rebounds. Other scores in the game, Matthew Halliger had one bucket for 2. Nia Estrada finished with a tray for 3 points. It was Jaron Watkins in the bucket for 2, 0 for 2 from the line, and Enrique Armendaris ended up with a bucket for 2 as well. They had a total of 8 scores for Artesia. Their undoing was their 15 turnovers in this game compared to the Eagles' 11. Now, 11 meaning a couple of those near the end really put the Eagles into that double-digit mess there, getting some point production from Artesia towards the end of the game. Artesia had 3 3-pointers in the contest. They were only 4 of 8 for 50% from the line. Definitely not numbers you need and try to get a win here on your home court, 50% from the charity stripe. Your Hobbs Eagles finishing with 3 in double digits. Abraham Pena with 14 points. He was 3 of 4 from the line for 75%. Hit one of the Eagles' 4 trays in the game and had 1 rebound. 11 for Braylon Vega. He had a tray, 0 for 2 from the charity stripe and 2 rebounds. Jairus Turbiatis finished with 10 points. He was 0 for 2 from the line and 3 boards. So those 3 in terms of Vega, Pena, and Turbiatis combining for 35 of the Hobbs Eagles' 55 points, a lot more than half of their scoring in this game. Parker Henderson getting somewhat close to a double-double. He did have 6 points, so he needed a couple more baskets, but did have 11 rebounds to lead the Eagles on the glass. Malachi David actually had more points than him with 9, but 3 rebounds. But more importantly, 4 for 4 from the charity stripe. David also hit a tray in the game, again for 9 points. It was Lyric Soria coming off the bench, the freshman, for a tray and 3. Josiah Clay finished with 2 points off 1 bucket. And that's about it for the scoring for the Hobbs Eagles. They finished with 7 in the books for Hobbs. In terms of free throws, they were 7 of 13 for 53%. And they ended up with 24 rebounds, one better than Artesia. We mentioned the 11 from Parker Henderson, although he did have like 3 boards on one play underneath the hoop, just kept going up and up and up, and not giving up very easily in certain segments of this ball game. Hobbs with 11 turnovers again compared to 15 for Artesia. So definitely the difference was turnovers through much of the game. Artesia had some unforced errors, and Eagles taking advantage of that with the transition game and scoring, but towards the end, it got a little bit sloppy the other direction, and Hobbs getting out with a 4-point win, 55-51.
Yeah, and that drops Artesia to 5-8. They're still above 500, and they're still looking good, so they're going to be starting district pretty soon, like Hobbs, of course. And we'll see what happens with their district play as well as their playoff hopes. But for Hobbs, yeah, this is their 59th victory since 1949 over this Artesia team. Only have lost 4 times, and that says something to the strength of how Hobbs can play this team and be able to get past them no matter what, no matter if they're playing really well or they're playing, as we talked about before, sloppy at times. But again, Hobbs has gotten more mature as the season has gone on, and I think they're going to be able to use that discipline as they start the district.
Hobbs has to get at least 4 out of the 6 wins out of the district to at least go 500. Right now 8-12, so that's a 4-game deficit at this point. So kind of a tough road to hoe there. I mean, it's a lot of the games that, we've had some Carlsbad close ones. Clovis is back on the winning track again. They've been in the top 10 for much of the season, so they're definitely improved from what they've had. Carlsbad, kind of a question mark. We'll wait and see. They've had some good wins, but they also kind of a roller coaster on some losses they shouldn't have had at this point. And we'll just have to wait and see how things pan out here in Roswell. Of course, we're going to start on Tuesday. So, again, 4-point victory for the Hobbs Eagles. Next up is Roswell, and looking at their record right now, they are sitting at 11-9, so 2 above the 500 mark. Kind of interesting, though. They only lost to Oregon Mountain by 4 points, so that was a pretty tight game there. And they kind of switched it up with what Hobbs has done down in Las Cruces. They beat Mayfield by 3 or 2. We've lost to Mayfield, but then they lost to Centennial by 2. We beat Centennial, so that's kind of a wash on those. They lost to Las Cruces High by 9, a game that the Eagles won at home there at Task Arena last week. So that kind of tells you, that just says anytime a team steps out on the court, it's a ball game they've got to play, and not just what happened on paper on the history way before that. So they didn't have a game tonight. They did last play Artesia. We mentioned they beat them 52-42 on Tuesday night for a 10-point victory at home. So should be a good start to the district schedule. Of course, we mentioned the Hobbs Lady Eagles also getting the win earlier tonight by 38. A Mercy Roll victory for Coach Carpenter, 17-3 on the season. 4 players in double figures. They'll be ready to go at Tasker at home Tuesday.
Against the Lady Coyotes? Definitely they will be. I think they've got everything set up. They're still kind of hurting for those 2 losses, but you know what? I think they've learned a lot, and I think that's going to help them get beyond the district. I think they're already thinking beyond their district, getting into the playoffs. But either way, you got to think about one game at a time, as always, get those victories, and then assure yourself a great seeding in the playoffs, and, of course, play your best.
Should mention, in terms of girls hoops, that Artesia beat Roswell, okay? And,
right.
Of course, Hobbs took apart Artesia by 38. So I might give you a preview of what's coming up on Tuesday at home there for Coach Carper and the crew. Like to thank Tiffany Stuber and Lena back at the station tonight for taking care of all the business. We had some technical issues there, and they helped us get the game on the radio. So thanks to you ladies for troubleshooting for us. Ron Gunner, myself, Ty Friends, it's been a pleasure serving you here in Artesia. Again, Tuesday night we'll be on the road in Roswell for the boys' action as they'll get the 6:45 pregame tip-off at 7. And again, the girls at Tasker on our sister station, 100.5 The Eagle. Thanks for listening to us live tonight here on Cool 95.7, on the internet, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube. Hope you have a great rest of a weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Adios.